Chapter 894. Gigantic Willow City. Looking at Gigantic Willow City, Fong Ping was overcome with emotion. This is the first king city I've ever bombed. Old Manly sighed too. This is the first royal city that I've killed my way in and out 7 times. Everyone was speechless. How could these two still have the mood to brag at this time? Going in and out 7 times? Do you really think we don't know what's going on? Wang Jinyang, Li Hansong, and the others were all there. He was killed by someone and had no choice but to flee. Li Hansong chuckled and said, "That's right. This is also the place where I first learned how to drill holes." Fong Ping glanced at him. Ironhead was courting death with his strength now. "Who are you talking about? Have I, Fong Ping, ever drilled a hole?" They could not be bothered with him. A group of people dressed like catacombs martial artists. They did not reveal their auras either. They just stood not far from the city and watched wantonly. Fong Ping looked at them for a while and smiled. "Does Gigantic Willow City, Lord, still recognize us?" "I don't think so," Wang Jinyang said with a face full of smiles. "Ever since you guys left that time, I've been here a few times. I've also dealt with the Gigantic Willow City Lord quite a few times. Every time he sees me, he's furious. How can he forget you, the main culprit, when I'm like this?" During his trip to Nanjiang's catacombs, Fong Ping almost blew up the entire Gigantic Willow City, scaring the Gigantic Willow City Lord so much that he did not dare to fight outside. Fong Ping smiled and said nonchalantly, "Even if he remembers, if he knows I'm Fong Ping, he probably won't dare to cause me trouble." "That's true." As Wang Jinyang spoke, he looked in the direction of Purple Cap Mountain and said with a slight frown, "The attraction is getting stronger. It's a little urgent. It should be that the Emperor's grave is about to completely open." Fong Ping did not speak. Instead, he took a look at Gigantic Willow City. In the city, there was a rank 9 aura. The Gigantic Willow City Lord should be in the city. Fong Ping watched for a while, but did not do anything. He turned his head to look at the crowd and said, "Let's go. Senior Wu will lead the way. We'll follow and watch the show. This is getting interesting." Even Li Zhu is ready to intervene. Everyone looked at him, not quite understanding what he meant. Fong Ping smiled. "I can sense Li Yi's aura. He was in Gigantic Willow City. If that was the case, the Gigantic Willow City Lord might be from Li Zhu's city. This guy was a cunning old fox. There must be a reason why he sent his son to the Nanjiang catacombs. Don't be fooled by the fact that Li Zhu's power doesn't seem to be that great. Even if the Lord of Gigantic Willow City is his man, this is a sign. Li Zhu was a man who plotted before he acted. He could endure." Even when Fong Ping was right under his nose and he knew Fong Ping's identity, he did not make a move. Even when the catacombs' true kings were killed, he did not intervene. Instead, he sent some true kings to the northern region. Fong Ping would be the first to not believe that a fellow like him would involve his son in this matter just for some benefits. Hua Qidao is here too. The former left commander, who was considered to have been demoted by Fong Ping previously, had also arrived this time. He was also in Gigantic Willow City. Hua Qidao's strength was not too strong. He was only at level 3 origin source. Even Hua Qidao had come. Fong Ping was sure that it was Li Zhu's idea and not Li Yi's own idea to come. Hua Qidao used to be the left commander, a capable subordinate of Li Zhu. After the right commander became a true king, Hua Qidao was considered Li Zhu's most trusted aide. He was already here. This was not something that Li Yi could order. Fong Ping and the others began to walk toward Purple Cap Mountain. They had just left. On the city wall, a few figures appeared. The Gigantic Willow City Lord's expression was gloomy. That's Fong Ping. He had never seen Fong Ping before, but he knew that Gigantic Willow City was blown up by Fong Ping. It's him. Hua Qidao's expression also changed for a while. Fang Ping, Feng Miexing, the two people who were in the imperial city previously were the same person. It was also because of Fang Ping that he lost his position as the left commander, allowing Zhao Xingwu to take advantage of it. As the two of them spoke, Li Yi did not continue the conversation. A small round ball appeared in her hand. She smiled and said, after the sky canopy was modified, its effects are extraordinary. It can also be carried around and observed the area covered by the sky canopy at any time. This is a sharp weapon. Fang Ping probably did not expect that he would be targeted by us the moment he entered. As soon as she said this, Hua Qidao also smiled and said, "The Pope is quite interesting. He actually revealed his latest research results to us. However, the king said that this person has his own agenda, so we don't have to care about him." However, the newly created sky canopy is indeed a sharp weapon. The entire 9 Southern Territory is under our control. This time, when they entered, their strength was not considered strong. In fact, they were very weak. However, when it came to strategizing, they were incomparably confident. In the entire 9 Southern Territory, they had set up a total of more than 30 sky canopies. All the important places had their sky canopies. Fang Ping and the others had concealed their auras. As soon as they entered, they were discovered by everyone. Not only Fang Ping, but they were also very clear about how many powerhouses there were in the 9 Southern Territory. To them, knowing everyone's whereabouts was the greatest success. Hua Qidao's expression was mocking. He chuckled and said, Fang Ping thought that he entered without anyone noticing. However, when Wu Chuan entered, I guessed that he would enter as well. As expected, Li Yi also laughed. Very quickly, her expression turned sinister. General Hua, this is also the time for us to show our skills. Let the entire 9 Southern Territory fall into chaos. The more chaotic, the better. Hua Qidao said calmly, don't be impatient. If Fang Ping wants to be the fisherman, he will only lose more than he gains. He is the target of many people this time. As long as we keep an eye on Fang Ping and expose his existence at the crucial moment, he will die a horrible death. Crucial moment? Hua Qidao smiled faintly. For example, when he obtains the treasure, conceals his aura, and hides. At that time, once he is exposed, will he still be able to live? Not only will he not be able to live, but it will also cause a larger battle. This time, entering 9 Southern Territory was indeed Li Zhu's idea. Li Zhu really did not have the intention to seize the treasure, even if he knew about the sky-crushing sword. Li Zhu's idea was very simple. He wanted to create some excitement. The probability of the treasure being seized by Fang Ping was as high as 90%. These were Li Zhu's original words. However, once the treasure was in Fang Ping's hands, it would be difficult for even a true king to stop him if he wanted to take it away. If Fang Ping returned to the land of rebirth, then this time everyone's plan would be for naught. At the crucial moment, only by exposing Fang Ping would it be the fuse that would cause chaos. Lian said in a low voice, Commander Hua, there are countless powerhouses this time. Why is Father so sure that the treasure will definitely be seized by Fang Ping? Even if Fang Ping was strong, it would not be easy to fish in troubled waters this time. Hua Qidao thought for a moment and said after a while, whether he is the reincarnation of the Demon Emperor or not, he is the biggest chess piece this time. Maybe the Demon Emperor did not plot against him back then, but because of fate, he took the initiative to get involved in this matter. If he is the reincarnation of the Demon Emperor, then there is no need to say anything. If he is not, do you think it will be good for the Demon Emperor if Fang Ping's identity is confirmed? Lian thought for a moment and nodded quickly. Then we just watch. Lian said in a low voice, Commander Hua, are we really not going to care about those treasures this time? If we seize a divine weapon like the sky-crushing sword, we will become the target of everyone, but what about the others? There are many treasures in the emperor's tomb, and there are also many holy fruits. If the true king does not want them, we will seize them. Commander Hua might be able to go further in the origin path, and I might be able to enter the divine general realm quickly. Lian knew that the things related to the true king should not be seized so easily. However, things like the holy fruits had no effect on the true king. If he seized these, his trip would not be in vain. Hua Qidao frowned. It's best not to complicate things. Fong Ping can survive until now, so he is not a brainless brute. If he takes advantage of the situation and diverts the trouble to someone else, we will be in trouble. As soon as he said that, Lian was instantly on guard. He had almost forgotten that Fong Ping could turn into someone else. If he became entangled with Fong Ping and turned into himself, he would not be able to clear his name. In the end, he would become the biggest loser. That Commander Hua, keep an eye on him. Don't give him a chance to escape. Lian could not wait for Fong Ping to die. This guy was a scourge as long as he was alive. Don't worry. What's wrong? Along the way, Old Man Li asked. Fong Ping did not seem to be in a good mood. Fong Ping shook his head slightly and frowned. Something's not right. What? I feel like I'm being watched by Old Zhang. Old Zhang? Everyone looked surprised. Old Zhang had never come to the catacombs. How could he be watching you? Fong Ping took a deep breath and said, I'm talking about the feeling of being watched. It was nothing before, but outside gigantic Willow City, this feeling was more obvious. Someone was watching me in the dark. This reminded me of something. He had told Old Zhang about the sky screen a long time ago. Sino Nation was also researching it now. Elvision was also researching this thing. If a catacombs surveillance system was really developed, it would be very useful. However, until now, there had not been much progress. Fong Ping had been watched by this thing before. Over at gigantic Willow City just now, he had a similar feeling. However, when he checked, there did not seem to be any sky screen hiding in the sky. Did I feel it wrong? Fong Ping calculated in his heart. He was not too nervous. He would know after trying it out later. It was the same old trick. System wealth increased. However, it was hard to say now. His strength was much stronger. Even if he was watched by Li Yi and the others, he might not be a threat. If there was no threat, his wealth would still increase. Coincidentally, Li Yi has a palace. I'll get it and build it into a warship. Then, the Heavenly Division's warship will be here. Fong Ping did not care whether Li Yi was watching him or not. He had decided to watch Li Yi first. It was not easy to meet this guy. He could not let him escape. Not thinking about this anymore, Fong Ping frowned again and said, the situation is still a little off. Logically speaking, although Senior Wu is not weak among these people, he's definitely not the strongest. Now, he's been watched as soon as he came in. There are a lot of powerhouses surrounding him now. What's going on? Wu Chuan was watched by a lot of powerhouses as soon as he came in. At this time, Jiang Chao was also worried. He said, Guardian Wu is fine. Is my freak okay? Jiang Hao insisted on moving together with Wu Chuan. It seemed like they were in big trouble now. There were a lot of people watching them. Wang Jinyong said slowly, be careful. Actually, something is really off this time. Sino Nation's strength is not considered strong among the other parties. It's understandable that we're being watched by the people from the restricted area. But if the other parties are also watching us, then there's a bit of a problem. Fong Ping, you should still remember what I said before. Maybe someone is deliberately drawing attention to us. Sinister intentions. Fong Ping lamented, unquestionable sword. If it's Unquestionable Sword's doing, then he better be careful. I'm a narrow-minded person. Previously, Cat said that he wanted to be on good terms with him. I was thinking that if we really meet in the future, we can still be friends. Old Zhang said that he did many great things 1,000 years ago. I'm quite impressed. But no matter how impressed I am, don't even think about using us as chess pieces. If it's really his scheme this time, just you wait. I'm fine. On account of Cat's favor, I won't do anything to him. If we get into any trouble, I'll go to the top later. Just you wait. Don't say harsh words. As soon as Old Manly said that, Fang Ping laughed and said, "This isn't harsh words. After this, if I still can't achieve rank 8-9 refinement, I'm prepared to step into the origin path. Instructor, I'll let you be the first in rank 8. I won't fight anymore. I'll strive to walk my own path as soon as possible, walk thousands of meters. When that time comes, you'll know if I'm being harsh or not." As he said that, Fang Ping's gaze flickered. "Let's go. Senior Wu is in trouble." The few of them did not waste any time and hurried forward. Earth. Secret place. Li Jun looked at Zhang Tao strangely. After a long time, he said, "Are we really not going to do anything this time?" "How?" Zhang Tao said with a smile. "He should bear what he should bear. I'm not his father. Can I always keep an eye on him? I didn't ask him to go to Nanjiang, did I? I told him to wait for a while. He won't listen." "All right. Tell me, what's your plan?" "I really don't." Zhang Tao looked at the new divine weapon in front of him that was like a huge cover and sighed. "We're in a critical period now. How can we leave? Once I leave, I'll collapse easily. But don't worry. In Magic City, a cat has disappeared." "You mean a cat?" Li Jun was surprised. "You're counting on an unreliable cat." "Unreliable?" Zhang Tao could not help but laugh. "It might not be unreliable. This cat's premonition is too strong. It can actually predict some things. This might have something to do with its uniqueness. It's its instinct to seek advantages and avoid disadvantages. Since it's willing to guard Fang Ping's home and follow Fang Ping around, actually some things are already clear. It feels that in this era, Fang Ping can give it a greater sense of security. You understand? If that's the case, when Fang Ping is unable to protect it, it will protect Fang Ping instead, waiting for Fang Ping to repay it. All right, taking a step back. It's following Fang Ping because Fang Ping is Unquestionable Sword's reincarnation. If that's the case, then it will put in more effort. It's known Unquestionable Sword for many years and can't forget it. Then it will not let Unquestionable Sword's reincarnation die. You bastard! Li Jun was helpless. How black-hearted! He even schemed against a cat. Zhang Tao darted him a look, cursing in his heart. What does this have to do with me? The cat came out of the mountain on its own. Did I force it? At this time, not far away, Warlord suddenly laughed. Little Zhang, tell me, is Unquestionable Sword dead? If he's not dead, who could be him? Is Fang Ping really Unquestionable Sword? Zhang Tao laughed. There's a high chance he's not dead. Even if he's dead, he's probably revived. Besides, I think his memory has been restored. Fang Ping is not him. There's no reason. It's just a guess. As for who is Unquestionable Sword, perhaps Unquestionable Sword is really different from the others. He did not revive using the method of reviving his life origin. What I mean is that his life origin aura has actually changed. He has taken many paths, some that even outsiders might not know about. Perhaps he gave up on some and focused on one path, thus changing his own aura. If that's the case, then the scope is huge. There are too many people who could be Unquestionable Sword. Actually, I've been thinking if he's really not dead or revived this time, He probably really wants to become the true controller in the dark. He wants to plot in the dark, overthrow everything, destroy everything completely. If that's the case, I think the probability of unquestionable sword being in the human world is very high, and the probability of him being in Sino Nation is even higher. If he's by Fong Ping's side, or by my side, then the probability is extraordinarily high. A powerhouse who once almost overthrew everything. If he does it again now, he'll be more cautious and bolder. As soon as he said that, everyone's heart trembled. Li Jun said in a low voice, "You're saying that he might be among us?" Zhang Tao laughed. "Why not? Otherwise, do you think he's really so capable that he can know everything? This time, we'll know. If Fong Ping really got all the treasures, this guy is definitely not Unquestionable Sword, and Unquestionable Sword might very well be by Fong Ping's side. If Fong Ping didn't get many treasures and even took the blame, then this guy might very well be by my side. If Fong Ping didn't get the treasures and was killed, then that means Unquestionable Sword is in the catacombs." "Why? Idiot!" Zhang Tao scolded. "If he killed Fong Ping, then what's the use of staying by Fong Ping's side? Obviously, Unquestionable Sword is not by Fong Ping's side. If Fong Ping gets few treasures and takes the blame, then there'll only be danger in the future and no benefits. Then the progress of the people around Fong Ping will slow down. If he's by Fong Ping's side, he won't do this. However, if Fong Ping gets the biggest benefits and takes the blame, then the probability of Unquestionable Sword being by his side is the highest." As soon as he said that, Li Jun said in a low voice, "Fong Ping's side." "Then, who do you think has the highest probability?" "How would I know? I'm not a god." Zhang Tao could not help but laugh. "I'm just guessing based on some existing clues. I can't guarantee that I'm right. Moreover, does it matter who Unquestionable Sword is? As long as Fong Ping doesn't die, who cares who he is? This guy schemed and schemed. In the end, Fong Ping will benefit. Who knows who's the loser? His target is not Fong Ping. If I'm not wrong, if this guy is still alive, he's probably completely extreme now. Maybe he wants to kill all the powerhouses in secret. Only then will the world be at peace. Kill all the powerhouses." Li Jun frowned. "How can he do that? Maybe—" Zhang Tao thought for a while and sighed suddenly. He thought of something. Fong Ping told him not to scheme against the Azure Cat in the future. This cat must not be allowed to be corrupted. Once it was corrupted, it would be extremely dangerous and might cause a huge mess. Even Fong Ping knew. Did Unquestionable Sword know? Unquestionable Sword. Oh, Unquestionable Sword. You were a hero 1,000 years ago. I still admire you a little. But if you really do that, how are you different from those people? How are you different from those guys who schemed against you back then?" At this moment, Zhang Tao sighed in his heart. What would Unquestionable Sword do? Would he choose this path? Would he scheme against the cat that had helped him countless times back then and given him a chance to grow? If he really did that, he would really become a devil emperor. He would really become a devil. "Where's Fong Ping?" A loud bellow reverberated throughout the area. Wu Chuan was expressionless. He did not reply at all. Jiang Hao wore a smile on his face. He held the long sword in his hand and chuckled softly. "Looking for Fong Ping? How much do you despise me? Could it be that Fong Ping is the only human youth powerhouse? Jiang Hao?" At this moment, someone recognized Jiang Hao and snorted. "Jiang Hao, you're not dead. That means Warlord is still alive. You can't bear the responsibility for what happened to Fong Ping. Even if Warlord is here, it won't help." Jiang Hao glanced at the other person and smiled brightly. A hint of gentleness appeared on his handsome face. "Dun Muzi, you're still alive. You've really surprised me. I remember that you're still alive after I skinned you and broke your bones. You're really lucky. Humph. The other person snorted coldly. A hint of malice flashed across his eyes, but he did not reply. Jiang, how was a lunatic? However, Warlord was powerful. He had killed many true kings before. If Warlord was still alive, no one would dare to kill Jiang Hao recklessly, unless Warlord was dead. Then, everything that Jiang Hao had done would definitely be accounted for. Jiang Hao's smile grew brighter. He looked around, and a strange flush flashed across his face. There are many young martial artists here. Why don't you spar with me? Now that the Emperor's tomb has yet to open, a fight between powerhouses is not beneficial for the upcoming Emperor's tomb fight. Why don't we learn from each other? At this moment, a Grand Master arrived. Hearing Jiang Hao's words, a young powerhouse said coldly, "How dare an illuminating god martial artist be so arrogant?" Not convinced, Jiang Hao looked at the other person, smiling like a breeze. "Why don't you try?" Behind them, in a forest, Jiang Chao sighed. "The pervert is going crazy again." Fang Ping laughed. "He's even crazier than me. Can this guy be a rank 8 opponent? He's not just a beginner rank 8. I think he's at least a rank 8 fifth refinement." "Of course not," Jiang Chao said helplessly. "He's crazy. He's looking for death and torture. This guy is a pervert. He'll only feel good if you torture him until he wants to die." Fang Ping and the others had strange expressions. "Your family's pervert was a real pervert." Jiang Chao sighed again. He looked at Fang Ping and hesitated before saying, "If the pervert is really going to be beaten to death, I can't just watch. But I don't have the ability. Fang Ping, what do you think? Let's see." Fang Ping rubbed his chin and said, "Why are these guys staring at me? It's fine if it's the catacombs, but the people from Grandmaster are also staring at me. It seems like someone said something." Tianmu said carelessly, "If it doesn't work, just show yourself and kill a bunch of people to intimidate everyone. What's there to be afraid of? Who's not afraid of death these days? The people from the catacombs and Grandmaster are all cowards. Kill a few powerhouses, and they'll be terrified." He looked down on these people from the start. It did not matter if it was now or in the past. His strategy had always been to kill 1 to warn 100. If that did not work, then he would kill 100. In his eyes, the catacombs martial artists were all cowards. If he killed more, the other party would naturally be afraid. All these years, he had come into contact with too many catacombs martial artists. As for Grandmaster, it was the same. Previously, Su Bing and the others were not well behaved. In the end, after he killed Suo Jia, these people did not even dare to fart. They were still not well behaved. In Tianmu's opinion, if it really did not work, why should they be the fishermen? They might as well just kill their way out and solve the problem. Humans would not survive if they were not crazy. More often than not, it was better to just kill and fight. All these years, human martial artists had almost become boorish men. They almost only knew how to kill. It was not that they did not use their brains, but they thought too much. Without the ability, the more they thought, the more trouble it would be. Those who really schemed, just 1 or 2 people would do. For example, old Zhang. He had enough ability to scheme some things. As for them, they would just kill them. As soon as he said that, Old Manly nodded and said, "That's the logic. Don't worry. Little fatty, don't be afraid. Let's see what they do first. If it's really dangerous and Wu Chuan doesn't make a move, we'll kill this group of people." Jiang Chao scratched his head. "You guys are so straightforward. I'm just trying to see if I can make a guarantee for boss. You guys are good. Without saying anything, you're all ready to roll up your sleeves and go for it." However, Jiang Chao was also much more relieved. It was much safer now. Fong Ping and the others were indeed reliable. In other people's eyes, perhaps they were too reckless. However, in his opinion, those who dared to rush up and fight at this critical moment were only comfortable as teammates. Fong Ping did not say anything. He did not reject or agree. He would wait and see. In front, the great battle had already erupted in an instant. P.S. I'm in too much of a rush today. I owe another update. I want to earn money too. Chapter 895. The battle broke out in the blink of an eye. The rank 8 youth from Grandmaster Sky did not have a good temper either. How could he remain indifferent to Jiang Hao's provocation? Both sides had experts overseeing them. Since Wu Chuan did not say anything, the other party did not hesitate and charged over with spears in hand. Jiang Hao usually greeted people with a smile, but he was also extremely crazy when it came to killing. If not for this, he, a rank 7 martial artist, would not have been able to make such a name for himself in the Land of Kings battleground. Peak rank 7 Jiang Hao was only 1 step away from rank 8. Although he had yet to attain a golden body, as a descendant of the King of War, his physique was no weaker than an ordinary rank 8 first or second refinement. The two of them fought fiercely in the air. Jiang Hao was truly crazy. His physical body was inferior to the opponent's, so he used his sword to fight in close combat. In an instant, his physical body was torn apart and blood gushed out. Fong Ping was watching the battle. Suddenly, he turned his head to look. Not far away, a group of people seemed to want to retreat to this side to watch the battle. Tianmu also sensed it. He tilted his head and asked, "Should we retreat?" This time, they entered the catacombs in secret. Although Tianmu wanted to show up and kill to settle things, Fong Ping was the leader this time. Tianmu had no intention of taking advantage of his seniority. Fong Ping was silent for a moment. He shook his head and said nothing. In just a short period of time, the other party had already arrived. There were a total of 5 people, 3 women and 2 men. Among them, there were 2 rank 9, 2 rank 8, and 1 rank 7. When this group of people rushed to the small mountain forest, their expressions also changed. Wang Hanyue, who was the leader, had a drastic change in expression. She didn't sense anyone here, but there were so many people gathered here. She couldn't sense the other party's aura, so she couldn't judge their strength. But Wang Hanyue still sensed danger. Danger! She was a pinnacle powerhouse in the rank 9 realm. In the dragon transformation Brahma heaven, she was the first person below the true God realm. She had walked 900 meters on the origin Tao. However, at this moment, she felt a fatal sense of danger. It wasn't just one person who brought her crisis. Quite a few people. The young man at the front was flanked by an old man and a middle-aged man. The old man was Li Chongsheng. When old man Li was rank 6, he was incomparably old. Even now, his appearance had not changed. The middle-aged man was Tianmu, although Tianmu was the oldest among them. This iron-blooded general had always presented himself as a middle-aged man to prove that he was not old and could still fight to the end. Tianmu, who was severely injured and aged, had regained his former appearance. Wang Hanyue was vigilant and stopped in her tracks. In the crowd, the young girl looked at them curiously and asked, "Senior sister, are they ordinary people?" She did not sense the aura of a martial artist either. Could he be an ordinary person from the Earth domain? Wang Hanyue shook her head lightly. Upon hearing this, Fong Ping tilted his head and glanced at the girl, a faint smile on his face. Ordinary people, this 7th-ranked girl, was either really stupid or pretending to be stupid. How can ordinary people be so calm when they see a group of flying experts like you? Would ordinary people stay here and watch the battle between the strong? Wang Hanyue's voice was solemn as she asked in a deep voice, "Are you martial artists of the human world?" It was very simple to distinguish whether a person was a human or not. It was to look at their hair ornaments. Although Fang Ping and the others tried to cover up, they did not cover up too much. Fang Ping now had sharp short hair and wore a nondescript catacombs armor. In reality, it was transformed from his own rank 8 armor. Only martial artists of the human world would wear short hair powerhouses like this. Fang Ping smiled and said slowly, "You are people from Brahma Duqian?" Old Wang had introduced them before. Although there were no photos, he had described some of their characteristics. The long-haired girl had a strong aura. Fang Ping felt that she was not weaker than Wu Chuan. Coupled with the number of people and ornaments, they should be people from Brahma Duqian. The long-haired girl, Wang Hanyue, was also one of the 2 powerhouses from Grandmaster that old Wang mentioned. "Who are you?" Wang Hanyue felt that she should have heard of this person before. She had just left the mountain not long ago. Some of the information she had was also hearsay. However, very soon, Wang Hanyue's expression changed. Fang Ping. It was him. She could not be wrong. She remembered now. Previously, in the rumors, Fang Ping seemed to be able to conceal his aura. However, at that time, she thought it was some special technique that could be used to hide from the weak. Who knew that she would see it this time? And even she was fooled. Fang Ping. Wang Hanyue's expression changed slightly. Now, everyone was looking for Fang Ping and waiting for him. However, who knew that Fang Ping was actually under everyone's nose? Beside Wang Hanyue, Wang Ruobing looked at Fang Ping and the others curiously, saying softly, "Are you Fang Ping? The reincarnation of the Devil Emperor?" Fang Ping smiled and said, "Devil Emperor? Unquestionable sword. If you think so, then so be it. Wang Hanyue, since we met, how about we have a chat?" Wang Hanyue was extremely vigilant. She was not afraid of Fang Ping and the others, but she still had her little junior sister with her. Just as she was about to leave, Wang Ruobing suddenly looked at Li Hansong. After looking at Li Hansong for a while, Wang Ruobing suddenly felt slightly strange and said, "I think I've seen you before." She was looking at Li Hansong. Fang Ping also looked at Li Hansong and could not help but laugh, winking. "Could it be that your little lover from your past life is here?" Li Hansong looked embarrassed, looking at the girl in front of him. Although she was called a girl, she was actually an old witch. Could it really be related to me? Li Hansong was a little uncertain. He was a resurrected martial artist. The dragon transformation Brahma Duqian was one of the 4 Brahmas in mythology with a long history. Heavenly Emperor Long Du was also a veteran emperor-level powerhouse. To say that they might know each other, that was really hard to say. Li Hansong said nothing, but Fang Ping smiled and said, "You know him? You know who he is?" "He looks different." Wang Ruobing seemed to be recalling something, saying softly, "But that feeling, it feels like I've seen him before." She did not even sense his qi, but she still felt that he looked a little familiar. At this time, Li Hansong could not help but ask, "Then who am I?" "Don't you know?" Wang Ruobing suddenly broke into a smile. Following that, she stepped on the void and walked toward them. Wang Hanyue's expression changed drastically. Seeing this, she wanted to pull her away, but Wang Ruobing shook her head slightly and said with a smile, "Senior sister, I know him. It's okay." As she said that, she had already stepped on the void and landed in front of everyone. Looking at Li Hansong again, Wang Ruobing thought for a while and said with a smile, "Don't you have a very beautiful armor?" Li Hansong's expression kept changing. Almost no old antique knew about this. But this young girl, she said it out loud. Seeing his expression, Wang Ruobing laughed again, saying happily, "Then I'm not mistaken. I've seen you before. Do you still remember? A long time ago, when I was still young. Yes, very, very young. My health was not good. Father always made me sleep. One time, I woke up and wanted to go to the heavenly realm to play. That time, a big dog wanted to snatch my food. I was scared. The big dog chased me. I was so scared. Father was not around. And then I met you. Have you forgotten?" The corner of Li Hansong's mouth twitched. Fang Ping held back his laughter and said, "The big dog you're talking about, is it Tengu?" "I think so," Wang Ruobing said with a smile. "I'm not sure either. Later, I told Father. Father said to ignore the big dog. Father seems to be afraid of the big dog. In the past, if someone bullied me, Father would beat them up. That time, the dragon transformation heavenly emperor had a complicated look in his eyes, trying to keep the peace. Forget it. Wasn't it just food? Forget about not snatching it. Snatching it was snatching it. That dog was so shameless that it even snatched a child's snacks. He, the dragon transformation heavenly emperor, was also a person who cared about his reputation. Could he be calculative with the Tengu? Because of this, Fang Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. The Tengu snatched a child's lollipop. This dog was really not a good thing. The old cat said that the Tengu often snatched its food. Now it seemed to be true. But if that was the case, Fang Ping suddenly looked at Wang Ruobing and said with a smile, "You've been to the heavenly realm?" The heavenly realm had been destroyed at least 5,000 or 6,000 years ago. This was a conservative estimate. If that was the case, this woman who looked like a girl was really a super old monster. "Yes, I went there a few times when I was young." "Then, do you know who he is?" Fang Ping pointed at Li Hansong. Wang Ruobing shook her head and nodded, her eyes smiling into the shape of a crescent moon. "I don't know, but I know him. I told Father before. Father seems to know him too, but he said that they are different paths. Don't go and contact him. That time, he helped me scare the big dog away. The big dog seemed to be very angry and told him not to meddle in other people's business. He even said that he would call his brothers to help beat him up. After I left, did you get beaten up by the big dog?" Li Hansong was embarrassed. "I know the Tengu. I don't know. I was beaten up by the Tengu before. That can't be." Fang Ping, however, heard the difference and said with a smile, "You're saying that the Tengu was scared away by him?" And then said some harsh words. "Yes, he lives in the heavenly realm." Should be. Wang Ruobing laughed softly. That time, it was Father who went to visit Dong Huang. We met the big dog at the Dong Huang mansion. He was also at the Dong Huang mansion. Fang Ping and the others looked at each other in dismay. Another emperor had emerged? Dong Huang? Who was Dong Huang? Wang Ruobing still wanted to say more. Behind her, Wang Hanyue was on high alert and suddenly shouted softly, "Ruobing!" Some things could not be said. Nowadays, some powerhouses were extremely taboo about the heavenly realm and would not say it. Wang Hanyue had never been to the heavenly realm. When she could remember, the heavenly realm had already been destroyed. Wang Ruobing was actually older than her, but her health had been poor since she was young. She had always been sealed by the dragon transformation celestial emperor and would only be unsealed after some time to let her out for a breather. That was why Wang Ruobing had been to the heavenly realm before. When she was young, the heavenly realm had not been destroyed yet. However, these things could not be said carelessly. The past of the heavenly realm had already become a taboo. No one knew what exactly happened back then. They only knew that the powerful heavenly realm was destroyed in a day and night. Even the emperor and the powerhouses of the heavenly realm had disappeared. Fang Ping glanced at Wang Hanyue and then at Wang Ruobing. He smiled and said, "You're Ruobing? The daughter of the dragon transformation, celestial emperor?" "Yes, the dragon transformation celestial emperor is very old. If that's the case, he was also a venerable emperor before the heavenly realm." Fang Ping pondered slightly. "Who is Dong Huang?" Ruobing. Wang Hanyue was about to continue to stop him when Fang Ping's eyes turned cold. He looked at her and said, "What nonsense are you talking about? Could he eat her? Her savior was here, and he could not even ask a few questions. Was the dragon transformation celestial so ungrateful? If not for Tai, Li Hansong, this missy of yours would have been eaten by the heavenly hound. I saved her life and asked about the situation. You're not even going to repay this kindness?" Wang Hanyue almost vomited blood. Life-saving grace. The heavenly hound, which was also the celestial emperor, snatching her junior sister's snacks. It was mostly a joke. How did it become a life-saving grace? Wang Hanyue's gaze was unfriendly. She looked like she was about to attack at any time. Fang Ping glanced at her. He could not be bothered. Wang Hanyue was strong, but Old Man Li and Tianmu combined forces were enough to hammer her to death. Although the other party had a rank 9 who was also an origin Dao, it would not be a problem for him to kill the other party. He was not afraid of these people at all. At this moment, Fang Ping was more interested in some gossip, especially this time. This time, it was related to the unquestionable sword. Although it had nothing to do with the heavenly realm, he might be able to connect the dots by asking. Wang Ruobing did not seem to care too much about these. She giggled and said, "Dong Huang is Dong Huang, an emperor of the heavenly realm. Back then, the emperor of the heavenly realm, Dong Huang, and my father were the closest, so I knew him." "Oh, right," Wang Ruobing thought for a while, and added, "Uncle Armor, has your enemy been killed?" Li Hansong was stunned. He asked doubtfully, "Enemy? Who? Have you forgotten?" Wang Ruobing said, "Strangely, that day you said you were going to settle scores with your enemy. I called you, but you told me not to follow you. You said it was very dangerous. I asked my father. He said you were going to find Dong Huang to assist in battle. Did Dong Huang go after that?" Fang Ping and the others were stunned. Assist in battle? Inviting an emperor to assist in battle? What kind of prestige was that? Enemy. Fang Ping looked at Yao Qingjun. Suddenly, was she talking about him? Yao Qingjun was indifferent. "Don't look at me. I don't remember." Wang Ruobing did not care about this. She giggled and said, "Uncle Armor, did you come to the land realm for the Devil Emperor's tomb this time? I heard from my father that the sky-punishing sword might appear this time. The sky-punishing sword used to be very famous in the heavenly realm. Uncle Armor has armor. If he gets the sky-punishing sword, he will be very powerful." As soon as she said this, Fang Ping's heart jumped. He looked at Wang Ruobing suddenly. Was this woman really innocent, or did she have an ulterior motive? The sky-punishing sword. She was actually encouraging Iron Head to take the sky-punishing sword. No, the sky-punishing sword was actually in the Emperor's tomb. This was the first time Fang Ping found out. The sky-punishing sword is in the Emperor's tomb? Yes. Wang Ruobing nodded and said, "My father said it. He said that when the Devil Emperor died, the entire Emperor's tomb was sealed. The Devil Emperor self-destructed, and the force of the explosion formed the Emperor's tomb. The Emperor's tomb has not been opened for many years. The sky-punishing sword should still be in the Emperor's tomb. Even if the Devil Emperor self-destructed, the divine weapon would not be destroyed. With the sky-punishing sword, Uncle Armor will be very powerful." Li Hansong was not an idiot. Seeing this, he looked at her and chuckled. I'm very powerful. Just because I have the sky-punishing sword, then this lady. My name is Wang Ruobing. Uncle, you can just call me Ruobing. Ruobing? Li Hansong coughed softly and laughed. If that's the case, why don't Ruobing help us seize the sky-punishing sword this time? After all, I helped you chase away the heavenly dog when you were young. If you help me this time, I will help you in the future. No way. Wang Ruobing was a little conflicted. She shook her head and said, My father said that we can't touch the divine weapon. The divine weapon has an owner. If the owner is not dead, he will get the divine weapon back sooner or later. Then, a grudge will be formed. Father can take it, but I can't. Uncle Armor, you can. You are very powerful. It doesn't matter if you take it. At the side, Wang Hanyue looked at them coldly and said indifferently, I didn't expect that there would be people from the heaven realm among you. Since that's the case, let me give you a piece of advice. It's best that you don't participate in the matter of the emperor's tomb. Fang Ping smiled and said, What do you mean? The emperor's tomb is a huge bait. The original bait might have only been one person, but now there are actually old people from the heaven realm mixed in. Once exposed, as he said this, he said in a low voice, Since Junior Sister knows this person, I think this person might be a big shot from the heaven realm in the past. But now is different from the past. Many people are looking for clues from the heaven realm. When I return to Dragon Changing Sky, I will definitely report this matter to Master. But for the sake of Junior Sister, I will not leak this to the outside world. But some things can't be hidden. Wang Hanyue was very surprised at this moment. In ancient times, Emperor Donghuang's guest had been resurrected. To be a guest of an emperor, he was at least a venerable emperor, and a powerful one at that. Only a great emperor like Dragon Changing Sky Emperor was qualified to visit, and the other party was not visiting, but inviting Emperor Donghuang to help in battle. Perhaps he was even stronger than Dragon Changing Sky Emperor. Such a person had actually been resurrected. Uncle Armor. Wang Hanyue suddenly looked at Li Hansong with a strange expression. Uncle Armor, beautiful Armor, Emperor Donghuang's guest. Emperor Armor? Wang Hanyue's expression fluctuated wildly. Could this person have used Emperor Armor in his previous life? Emperor Armor, who used Emperor Armor? The great emperor should know, right? Not many people knew about what happened in the ancient era, but there were still people who knew about it. Could it be that the divine weapon, Emperor Armor, was in this person's hands? Her expression changed. Fang Ping kept staring at her, as if he had guessed something. He smiled and said, Miss Ruobing, are you sure that Li Hansong is the Uncle Armor? You know, he didn't even reveal his aura, and you recognized him. You guys are not trying to do something on purpose, are you? Fang Ping grinned and said, Fancy Iron Head, trying to get close to him? I say, Miss, this trick is outdated. Wang Ruobing looked at him, puzzled, and explained, It's really a little familiar. Fang Ping smiled and said, Like this? No. Aura? Not really, but no buts. Fang Ping interrupted. All right, don't try to blackmail us for no reason. If you want to hit on Li Hansong, you should learn more. Maybe once he's moved, he'll really like you? Familiar? How many years has it been? Just make up a story. Who knows if it's true or not? Li Hansong is only in his 20s. How could he have an ancient acquaintance? Having said that, Fang Ping sneered and quickly soared into the sky, leaving in the blink of an eye. But seeing them leave, Wang Ruobing felt a little wronged. But he really looks like Uncle Armor. Wang Hanyue took a deep breath and said in a low voice, Junior Sister, the Uncle Armor you mentioned, who is he? I really don't know. Wang Ruobing shook her head. I've only seen him once, but Uncle is very nice. Is he wearing Emperor Armor? Emperor Armor? Wang Ruobing thought for a while and said after a long time, I'm not sure. Father didn't say. Senior sister, even if he is, we can't use it. Father's injuries have just recovered not long ago. Let's not fight for it anymore. Wang Ruobing was not really stupid. When Wang Hanyue mentioned this, she immediately thought of something and shook her head hurriedly. Although divine weapons were good, every time a divine weapon fight was fought over, it would cause chaos. At the same time, Fang Ping teased, Ironhead, you're good. An old antique who has lived for 10,000 years has almost become your little fangirl. You can still recognize him even after so many years. Your feelings are too deep, Li Hansong said gloomily. Who knows if she's telling the truth? Probably she's telling the truth. Fang Ping thought for a while and said, speaking of armor, although many people know about it, you're the reincarnation of a powerhouse. So many people know about it too. There really aren't many who could connect you to the ancient times. Of course, we can't rule out the possibility that she knew something beforehand and purposely came to scam us. But if what she said is true, Ironhead, you're in trouble. Yes, Li Hansong said in a low voice. I can see that this woman can't hide her words. Now that she said that dragon transformation, Celestial Emperor might really know me and know that I have a divine weapon armor. I don't know if this divine armor is Emperor armor or not, but it's really powerful. These powerhouses won't be tempted by normal divine weapons. But what about divine weapons? Divine weapons, Fang Ping sighed and said, previously when I was observing tomorrow, I read some records about divine weapons. It's too eye-catching. The divine peeking mirror can peek into the heavenly Tao. Just this sentence alone, I can roughly guess the function of the divine peeking mirror. The old cat took the divine peeking mirror. It was probably destroyed, or else it would not have been preserved so easily until now. Heavenly King Seal can suppress the three realms. One seal to suppress the three realms. How to suppress it? Although I don't know, this description is enough to explain how powerful this thing is. Emperor armor. Nothing can break it. Sky crushing sword. Everything can break it. These two are actually in conflict. I'm actually thinking, who wrote this thing? Was Emperor armor broken by Sky crushing sword? Or was it broken by God of War bow or God destroyer spear? As Fang Ping said that, he looked at Ironhead again and smiled, saying, when you have time, you can go and talk to that Wang Ruobing. I think she seems to really remember what happened back then. She might really still remember the favor of chasing away Skyhound back then. Speaking of which, Ironhead is good. He even chased away Skyhound back then. I don't know if it was when Skyhound was young or when it was powerful. If it was when it was powerful, Skyhound would still have to call for help to settle the score with you. TSK, this ability is not weak. Of course. Li Hansong chuckled and said, I'm North Conqueror Emperor. Is it okay if I'm too weak? North Conqueror Emperor? Everyone looked at him strangely. You've recovered your memory? Li Hansong had an inscrutable look on his face. You guys don't know that Fang Ping and I discussed changing the name, right? As they chatted, Jiang Chao wanted to cry, but had no tears. He stammered, everyone, my pervert is about to be beaten to death. What happened to charging forward at the critical moment? In the end, all of you paid attention to the battle just to chat with the girl. My pervert is being ridden and beaten. Don't even mention how miserable he is. When everyone heard that, they looked over in that direction. How tragic! Jiang Hao looked like an elegant young master earlier. Now he was almost beaten into a beggar, covered in blood. It was obvious that he had suffered a great loss. His opponent, on the other hand, only had some minor injuries at this moment. The difference in their ranks was too great. No matter how heaven-defying Jiang Hao was, there was no way he could defeat his opponent. His previous bold words had become empty words. Beside him, Wu Chuan was ready to make a move. It seemed like he had the intention to intervene in this matter. On the other side, a few rank 9 powerhouses were also glaring at Wu Chuan like tigers watching their prey. Wang Jinyang gave Fang Ping a look. Fang Ping said softly, "All of you are staring at me. The sky-punishing sword is actually in the Emperor's tomb. I might be the unquestionable sword. I can't hide. A lot of people seem to not care about me, but I'm afraid they're all waiting for me." As Fang Ping said that, he smiled and said, "Since I can't hide, then let's turn from darkness to light." Chapter 896. Trash. How dare you provoke a golden body powerhouse? In the air, the expert from the sky beyond sky pierced through Jiang Hao with his spear. His expression was cold. The other was really strong in the spirit realm. However, in terms of deity ascension and golden body, he had yet to enter the golden body realm. How could his opponent be a match for him? Spear light erupted, shattering more than half of Jiang Hao's internal organs. The young man wanted to continue, but someone behind him suddenly shouted, "Retreat!" This roar came from a level 9 expert on his side. The young man was shocked. Just as he was about to retreat, he suddenly felt a sharp pain on his face. "Pa!" A loud and crisp sound rang out. The young man flew backward. Behind him, someone laughed lightly. "Is it fun for a rank? 8 to bully a rank. 7? I'm also a rank. 8. How about we play?" "Who are you?" The level 9 expert on the young man's side shouted angrily, his face full of vigilance. He didn't even sense the other party's sudden attack. "Didn't you come looking for me as soon as you arrived? How arrogant!" Fang Ping looked around, calm and collected. He kicked the youth who had just struggled to get up and sent him flying. He sneered, "What? I'm here. Don't you recognize me?" Fang Ping. In the crowd, a catacombs powerhouse bellowed, "Why are you calling me Grandpa?" As Fang Ping said that, he suddenly added, "I can't be your grandfather. I wouldn't even want a bastard like you to be my grandson." "You're Fang Ping?" Outside, Chang Shanqi let out a low growl, his eyes cold. "Fang Ping, you really dare to come in?" Fang Ping stepped on the void, looking at him, smiling. "You're Chang Shanqi, that expert from the Wushang Eternal Realm Heaven? You dare to come in? The catacombs is my territory. I treat it like a field of chives. I'll come here to harvest when I'm free. You're asking me if I dare to come in?" As soon as these words came out, the entire place went silent. The catacombs powerhouses were furious. How insolent! On the outskirts of the crowd, Hua Yu looked as if he was used to such occurrences. This was Fang Ping. Comparing arrogance? Those so-called grandmasters actually dared to compete with Fang Ping in terms of arrogance. This was a true madman. If he wasn't arrogant, would he have dared to go to the imperial city alone and stir up a storm right under the nose of a true king? At this moment, Hua Yu even felt a little envious of Fang Ping. He was arrogant and never restrained himself, but how many people could do anything to him? This time, many people were secretly spreading some news, trying to push Fang Ping into the eye of the storm. He had thought that Fang Ping would not show up this time, but what about now? The other party had appeared. Not only did he appear in an extremely arrogant manner. Fang Ping was indeed arrogant. Back then, he didn't have the qualifications to be arrogant. When Absolute Peak and True King were here, he didn't have the qualifications to do so. But now, since these powerhouses didn't come out, he wasn't afraid of anyone. There were no more than 5 origin realm cultivators who could kill him. And these 5 people did not include Chang Shanqi. Fang Ping's words made Chang Shanqi's face darken. The catacombs powerhouse glared at him. The next moment, Fong Ping laughed loudly. Not satisfied. You can give it a try if you're not convinced. It's been a long time since I've killed someone. Do you want me to see if my knife is still sharp? As soon as he finished speaking, a Changdao appeared in Fong Ping's hand, and he slashed it down. The youth who had been sent flying by Fong Ping's kick was just about to thrust his spear forward when Fong Ping's saber violently slashed his spear in half, as well as both his arms. Bang! Fong Ping kicked out, kicking the other party's golden body until it exploded. The sound of explosions was endless. This Grandmaster powerhouse was not from Wushang Changrongtian, but from another Grandmaster. At this moment, the other party's rank 9 powerhouse holding the line also moved. His eyes were ice cold, charging straight at Fong Ping. The crowd, who was initially angry, suddenly quietened down. They also wanted to see where Fong Ping got the qualifications to be so arrogant. Do you think I'm dead? Wu Chuan, who had been silent all this while, was strangely furious at this moment. They had agreed that he would be the target to lure the powerhouses from all directions. In the end, this little bastard Fong Ping insisted on appearing. It was fine if he appeared, but these people dared to attack him right in front of him. Did they really think they were made of mud? Die! With a furious roar, a ray of green light pierced through the sky. Wu Chuan slashed with his sword, then sheathed it, letting out a cold humph. In front of him, the rank 9 powerhouse who had just charged overpaused for a moment. Then his face cracked, and his head exploded directly. The other party recovered quickly, then exploded again. This happened 3 times. Only then did the other party's face turn pale. He took a few steps back and recovered from his head injury. With 1 slash from Wu Chuan, he was severely injured. The surrounding powerhouses were extremely solemn at this moment. Initially, rumor had it that Wu Chuan, one of the 4 great guardians, had average strength, but now it seemed that average that was also relative to the other 3 great guardians. This person had injured a powerhouse around rank 3 origin with 1 slash. Although he did not kill him, it was enough to prove his strength. That was also one of the top-notch ones among the origin realm. Wu Chuan let out a cold humph. Fong Ping, on the other hand, smiled and said, "Why are you in such a hurry to attack, Senior Wu? I was waiting for him to attack and find a reason to settle this day. Don't think that I can't do anything to you guys in the catacombs." Fong Ping ignored the other party's anger. He looked around and said coldly, "All of you behave. So what if it's the catacombs? Fong Ping, can't interfere in a desperate battle. When it's at the peak, show your skills. Coming to Nanjiang's catacombs without telling me, coming as you please. Who gave you the guts and authority?" When these words came out, everyone was stunned once again. Were the martial artists of the human world this arrogant? The catacombs' martial artists were also livid. At this time, a giant dragon that had just arrived suddenly roared. Fong Ping looked at the giant dragon and said with a smile, "Descendant of the Black Dragon, why didn't you just stay in Destiny City and come here to yell at me? Descendants of the true king of Destiny Royal Court, I didn't just kill 1 or 2. So what if you're a descendant of the true king? I love to kill descendants of the true king. Do all of you think I'm a pushover? I've just come in and can't be bothered to argue with you. How dare you block my way? Do you have a death wish?" Fong Ping sneered again. In the crowd, a young martial artist said coldly, "Fong Ping, don't be arrogant. This is not a place where you can be reborn. Countless powerhouses have gathered this time. Do you really think that no one can do anything to you? The Forbidden Sea, Mount Royal Sea, and Outland have all sent powerhouses here. You..." Before he could finish his sentence, Fong Ping suddenly broke through the air and blasted a punch toward him. How dare you? This person was also a descendant of the true king. At this moment, the guardian general beside him roared and also punched out. Kaboom! Crack! There was a crisp sound. Fang Ping was calm and composed. He took a few steps back and returned to his original position. The guardian general's arm, on the other hand, was fractured. The golden bone pierced through his flesh, the bone stubble sticking out. The young man who spoke was even more terrified. Fang Ping was getting stronger and stronger. The powerhouse guarding him was a powerhouse at level 6 origin. In the end, his arm was broken by Fang Ping's punch. Although Fang Ping himself flew a few steps back, he seemed to be at ease. Obviously, he had a big advantage. How old was Fang Ping? Moreover, the speed at which Fang Ping became stronger was too fast. Many people knew that Fang Ping had just entered rank 8 a few days ago. A few days ago, he had only entered rank 8 when the evil sect martial artists from the land of rebirth surrounded him. In the blink of an eye, however, Fang Ping had reached this stage, where he could compete with a deity powerhouse. Provoking me? Fang Ping flew back to his original position and said with a smile, "So what if I do? The Forbidden Sea, Outland, Mount Royal Sea, there are many powerhouses, but so what? We human martial artists are all demons who would want to die. Based on this, do they dare to fight me? The hearts of the people are not united. Each one of them is scheming against me. What benefits do they get if they kill me? Just because of a moment of anger? Even if I scold their mother in front of their faces and kill them, they will still have to admit defeat. You catacombs martial artists are getting worse and worse. Back then, I thought you were great enemies. Now, it seems that I have overestimated you. Don't you have enough internal strife? It's fine if you're afraid of death. Now, anyone can ride on top of you. If we humans are really destroyed by you catacombs, that will be a disgrace to humanity. Forbidden Sea, Outland, a bunch of outdated fellows. You catacombs actually treat them like your ancestors, afraid of offending them. Is this the catacombs? Are you worthy of being called a great enemy of humanity? Ridiculous, pathetic. We humans have only developed for a short period of time. Otherwise, we would have destroyed you a long time ago. In such a huge catacombs, there are countless powerhouses and hundreds of true kings. Now, all of you are like grandchildren. I feel ashamed for you. With such opponents, I don't know if I should be glad or regretful. Without a good opponent, in the end, humanity lost. Even if I die, I won't be able to face anyone. These words were half-truths. It was not to the extent of lying and bluffing. Fang Ping really felt that the catacombs side was ridiculously weak. Hundreds of true kings, countless rank 9s. The other party had been fighting with humans for so many years and had never admitted defeat. Although Imperial Sea Mountain was sealed, the true kings of the catacombs still had some calculations. But now, the younger generation of the catacombs might have really become cowards. These people, toward these grandmasters, they had tolerated again and again. How many grandmasters were there? Exactly? No matter how many. In Fang Ping's opinion, it was definitely not as many as the catacombs. Even at emperor level, the catacombs might not be less than the grandmasters. As for Imperial Sea Mountain, it was only a subsidiary force of the 1,000 Demon Royal Court. What was there to be afraid of? If the Imperial Sea Mountain demons were not protected by the 1,000 Demon Royal Court, humans could kill all these demons. After all, many people were still thinking about the divine weapons. What right did these demons have to be so arrogant? If Fang Ping was on the catacombs side, he would not be so cowardly at all. Now, with so many forces, the catacombs were obviously the strongest, but now it seemed like they had become the weakest. Everyone could laugh at them. As soon as these words came out, Some people's expressions turned ugly again. Outside the crowd, Huayu suddenly smiled, faintly. Fang Ping, why do you have to sow discord? So what if we let some people jump around for a while? The general trend is like this. No one can change it. Fang Ping sneered. Huayu, you're only good at talking. With a descendant like you, King Hua wants you to fight for the Lord's position. Feng Miexing was also killed by me. Otherwise, he would be much more reliable than you. Speaking of which, until now, I actually realized that in the catacombs, only Feng Miexing has the attitude of a powerhouse's descendant. You guys forget it. Feng Ping. At this moment, a group of people treading air arrived. Ji Yao's aura was bursting, ostentatious, and fearless. She said lightly, "There's no point in saying all this. What grandmasters, the Forbidden Sea, after hiding for so many years, I still don't see them dare to show their faces. It's fine if they're making a ruckus now, but if they really dare to be unbridled, it will be their time to die. I don't need you to sow discord." Fang Ping laughed loudly, giving a thumbs up. "Ji Yao, I like this attitude of yours. Well said. Why don't we work together and clean up these small fries first?" "Arrogant, ignorant junior." In the crowd, Lu Ji shouted in a low voice, his face full of malice. Chang Shanqi's face was also livid. Did these people treat them as if they did not exist? Wang Hanyue and her group, who had just arrived, were also frowning. The human world martial artists and the remnants of the Earth Emperor God dynasty were really arrogant. Further away, in the void, some demons seemed to be hiding, and some of them were chirping in a low voice. Arrogant. The Forbidden Sea was nothing? Grandmasters was nothing? What right did these people have to say that? However, Fang Ping did not care about them. He looked at Ji Yao and smiled. "I heard that you went to the 10,000 demon royal court to fight at the border. Ji Yao, you've made me think more highly of you. When I first met you, I thought you were an idiot. Now, it seems that you have some tricks up your sleeves. This time in the Emperor's tomb, I heard that there are sky-punishing swords and Emperor-level powerhouses' corpses. How about this? I'll give you an Emperor-level corpse, and I'll take the rest. You help me clean up some small fries. How about that?" Ji Yao said coldly. "Fang Ping, do you think that's possible? Then tell me, what do you want? We can talk." Humph. The two of them spoke one after another. This time, someone really could not hold it in anymore. On the side of Wushang, everlasting Rongtian, a luxurious young man, also a rank 9, said in a cold tone, "Both of you treating us like nothing, seeing the Emperor's tomb as something in your pocket. Aren't you afraid? Afraid of your grandpa?" Fang Ping sneered. "Who do you think you are? Do you have the right to interrupt Wushang, everlasting Rongtian, grandmasters? To put it bluntly, I still have some face on the human side. If you piss me off, I'll first join forces with the catacombs to get rid of you guys, then fight to the death with the catacombs. Right now, you bunch of old antiques better keep a low profile. Don't force us to attack you. Take a guess. If the humans propose to join forces and besiege grandmasters together, what's the probability of the catacombs agreeing? Getting rid of you group of unstable factors first is what both sides want to do. If we can't do it now, that's because no one is willing to take the lead. If I, Fang Ping, want to try, don't say, I think I have some face, I can do it. If you don't believe me, come and try." After saying that, Ji Yao said lightly, "I want to try too. Let bygones be bygones. The glory of the ancient era should also come to an end." "Ji Yao, why don't I join as well?" Huayu laughed, saying playfully, "Destiny, heavenly plant, land of rebirth, if the three of them join forces, we might really be able to try." The three of them spoke one after another, everyone's expression turning uglier. Chang Shanqi said coldly, "If you all want to try, then try." Supreme, everlasting heaven, Fang Ping laughed, staring at him. Ji Yao, Hua Yu, arrange for people to find out the location of their grandmasters. I'll inform the Martial King, the Nether King, and the War King to attack later. You can just call the Life King and King Hua over to help. I really want to try. What qualifications does the fellow who is yelling at me, Fang Ping, have? Ji Yao said coldly. Sure, the other party's master's Dao. Ancestor King wants it. We want grandmasters. Hua Yu added. Fang Ping glanced at the two of them, smiling faintly. That's too much. If you do this, you won't be able to split the loot evenly, then there's no sincerity in our cooperation. We can discuss this in detail later. Emperor, what a joke. Fang Ping snorted, saying lazily, cut the crap. If you want to find me, I'm here. Come, I'll wait for you all to kill me. If you have the guts, come. Fang Ping was getting more and more insolent. He was staring at everyone's reaction. In the end, he saw that these people all looked angry, but no one moved. While Fang Ping was disdainful, he was also vigilant. Powerhouses were more or less prideful, but now these fellows were scolding you. You can scold you, we can be angry, but we won't make a move. What did this mean? Just now, they were all yelling where Fang Ping was, and now they were withering. As expected, they're all waiting for me to show up, waiting for me to go to Emperor's tomb. Fang Ping had a sense of propriety. These fellows would not attack him now. They probably wanted to test his strength, but now they were probably waiting. Moreover, he had defeated the rank 8 in the blink of an eye. These fellows probably knew that they could not test him anymore. Want me to open Emperor's tomb? All right, then I'll satisfy you all. Fang Ping thought in his heart, but his mouth continued to despise them, provoking these people even more, but no one stepped forward. These people all looked gloomy, but no one wanted to fight Fang Ping. Fang Ping's sneer was getting more and more ear-piercing. Scheming and scheming. Who can scheme against who? These words, Fang Ping said loudly, laughed heartily, and said playfully, a bunch of fellows who haven't even reached Emperor Realm, scheming against each other, all want to be the fisherman who benefits, all want to treat others as idiots. Li Zhu sent his son and general in. What am I doing? Li Yi Hua Qi said, if you want to play, then come to the bounded domain. Hiding in the back, it's useless. Don't participate. Want to take advantage at the end. Do you really think that you, Li Zhu, can do anything just because you have emperor-level strength? Ha ha ha. Fang Ping laughed wildly, then stepped into the air, heading straight for the bounded domain. Behind him, Old Man Li and the rest stepped into the air one after another. Wu Chuan also followed quickly. Seeing this scene, Ji Yao also laughed coldly, saying lightly, this kind of enemy is our divine land's greatest enemy. The others are not worth mentioning. Martial King, Netherworld King, Fang Ping, Longevity Sword. These people, even if their strength was not as good as the Grandmasters, even if they were not as good as the Catacombs, in Ji Yao's opinion, these people were worthy of being called great enemies. If they won, that was how it should be. If they lost, they would not feel indignant. As for the Grandmasters, those old antiques, some of the old antiques of Divine Land, the two kings, Ji Yao felt that these people were far less courageous than these people from the Land of Rebirth. In the midst of a great battle, if they all hid their heads, did they deserve to fight? Let's go. As Ji Yao yelled, many powerhouses followed one after another. Hua, you also laughed lightly, the folding fan in his hand appearing. He fanned once, extremely playful, and stepped into the air to follow. As expected, the great enemy of Divine Land was still the Land of Rebirth. Other places, even the unusually mysterious Forbidden Sea, were nothing more than this. When he returned this time, he still had to make it clear to the Ancestor King that the Land of Rebirth was the real great enemy. Other people, like the two kings, could be taken seriously, but He must not neglect the essentials and forget the real enemy. Both sides had been fighting for so many years. Once the land of rebirth rose, the first to be unlucky would be the Sky Plant's royal court. Li Zhu, after scheming and scheming, be careful not to stumble in the end and give the land of rebirth a chance. Sooner or later, there will be big trouble. Huai Yu thought in his heart, his expression turning cold. Cooperating with Fang Ping was a stopgap measure. He wanted to get rid of Fang Ping now, in case this fellow really became a big trouble in the end. What a pity! Huai Yu suddenly laughed at himself. What a pity! In the vast divine land, everyone was scheming, thinking that they had calculated everything, thinking that the land of rebirth would soon be conquered. If this went on, it would be troublesome. Li Zhu, a hero? He did not take care of the great enemy, but instead spent too much energy on other things. Was such a person worthy of being called a hero? The ancestor king and the others were also old, so old that they could not distinguish between the heavy and the heavy. The land of rebirth will become a big trouble sooner or later. Is the fall of 5 true kings not enough to wake you guys up? Huai Yu lamented. The danger of the royal court would come from the land of rebirth sooner or later. Chapter 897, Tributary of the Forbidden Sea. Fang Ping arrived quickly. In the sea, the heads of monsters popped out. When Fang Ping arrived, he bellowed, "I am Fang Ping. Demons retreat." Fang Ping was extremely arrogant. Usually, these forbidden sea demons would not care about him. However, at this moment, the demons in the sea heard him introduce himself and retreated. Fang Ping was here. What was the purpose of waiting until now? Was it not for Fang Ping? Now that Fang Ping had arrived, despite his arrogant tone, the demons still retreated. In the air, Fang Ping sneered. In this world, the kind would be bullied. The demons were extremely arrogant in the Forbidden Sea. Since when could anyone force the Forbidden Sea demons to retreat? But today he did it. Not because he was too powerful, but because these demons also had their own motives. The world was bustling, all for profit. Sure enough, even the demons were not immune. In the sea, a buffalo-like monster stepped out. Fang Ping guessed its identity and said indifferently, "Water demon? Normal strength?" Fang Ping? The buffalo-like monster's mentality fluctuated. "It's me." As expected of a human prodigy, you actually dare to be the first to enter the bounded domain. This time is not the right time. After this, if you are still alive, I would like to meet you. Fang Ping sneered. You let me enter the bounded domain first this time, so you are not qualified to compete with me. Fang Ping was extremely proud. This group of humans and demons were not qualified to compete with him. In the era of great competition, everyone was waiting for him to enter, even though they knew that there were opportunities in the emperor's tomb. Just based on this point, Fang Ping felt that no one had the qualifications or the courage to compete with him. Schemes? If they were not desperate, what qualifications did a group of weaklings have to scheme against him? Fang Ping sneered. This time, he did not care about the Forbidden Sea tributary at all. He quickly stepped into the air, crossed the Forbidden Sea directly, and entered the Forbidden Catacombs directly, just as Fang Ping crossed the Forbidden Sea tributary and fell into the bounded domain. The bounded domain, inner area. An illusory figure abruptly appeared. "Someone is coming," the phantom muttered to itself. At this moment, an image appeared in front of it. Ordinary masters of the grotto heaven could not detect the situation outside. But at this moment, this illusory figure was displaying the situation in the outer regions of the domain. On the screen, a young figure quickly landed on the ground. "Battle Heavenly the Arch." The mysterious man murmured, then denied, "It's not him. Who is it?" The shadow did not seem to recognize Fang Ping and was a little suspicious. It's not the battle heaven arch. The phantom was somewhat puzzled. Who was that? The location of the emperor's tomb was the most attractive to Jean Tiendi. He had thought that the youngest person would be the first to enter. He had thought that Jean Tiendi would be the first to arrive, but it was not him. The next moment, the phantom saw the people landing one after another. He suddenly said, "Q-Sword, has the person you are waiting for arrived?" No one responded. The illusory figure didn't care, and murmured, "Back then, when you set up this trap, who were you waiting for?" The mysterious man muttered to himself, then sighed. Very quickly, seeing the people who had followed Fong Ping down, the apparition mumbled, Are you here? What I owe you. I've waited for 1,000 years, and now I've repaid it all." The illusory figure sighed. 1,000 years. What he owed his disciple had been repaid. 1,000 years ago, what his disciple had begged him for. He had done it. Thinking of this, the illusory figure sighed, even more, feeling even more melancholic. After waiting for 1,000 years, this day had finally arrived. Q-Sword set up this trap 1,000 years ago. What was it for? Although Battle Heaven Arch was strong, was it really enough to change this? This was the general trend. The battle of emperors, the battle of longevity. The illusory figure murmured, "In this era, everyone would fight, including those great emperors who had not shown themselves for a long time." In the bounded domain, the illusory figure murmured. Outside the bounded domain, Fong Ping landed. As soon as he landed, Wang Jinyang said, "It's just in front, less than 100 li. It should be the emperor's tomb." Fong Ping nodded slightly, then looked at the others and said in a low voice, "This time, I broke the situation and showed myself first. At this moment, we have also become everyone's focus. Everyone, be careful. Once it's a critical moment, we might be surrounded and attacked by everyone." Old Manly smiled, faintly. "What are you afraid of? Humans have always been the target of everyone's hostility. It's just a matter of time. Don't worry, we have a sense of propriety." Wu Chuan also smiled. "Just like what you said, others are afraid of death, but we are not. This time, going to the emperor's tomb, if we can really obtain a few great Tao of emperors, even if we die, it will be worth it." Fong Ping chuckled. "That won't do. This time, I know it's for the treasures, so I'm calling those close to me. If I die for the treasures, no matter how many treasures there are, it's not worth it." Everyone burst out laughing. Very soon, Wang Jinyang said seriously, "The emperor's tomb is becoming more and more attractive to me. Looks like Unquestionable Jian set this up back then for me. If I'm not Unquestionable Jian, then I'm very much related to Unquestionable Jian. At the very least, he knows about me. Otherwise, this person would not have set up a 1,000-year trap and waited for me to come." What Wang Jinyang said was not without reason. If Unquestionable Jian did not know about him, he might not have set up this trap. He said it was to plot against Fong Ping, but was there any trace of Fong Ping 1,000 years ago? The probability of it being to plot against Fong Ping was not high. It was more likely that it was for Old Wang. Fong Ping walked forward cautiously while guessing. For Old Wang, then he must have a request. What attracted Old Wang to come here for? 1,000 years ago, could it be that he already knew that Old Wang would come back to life? Or could it be that 1,000 years ago, Old Wang had actually appeared before? Everyone was at a loss. Naturally, no one knew what happened 1,000 years ago, for whom Unquestionable Jian set up this trap 1,000 years ago. No one knew. If it was Old Wang, then it meant that the two might know each other. Or perhaps Unquestionable Jian knew some secrets and knew that Old Wang would come back to life. So he set up this trap. Everyone did not know, and they were too lazy to guess. Very soon, everyone walked forward in the direction that Old Wang sensed. As Fang Ping walked, he probed the situation behind him. As he entered, a large number of powerhouses began to enter. Ji Yao led a group of people, and Hua Yu led another group. Other than that, there were also people from beyond Sky, Mount Royal Sea, and the Catacombs' outer domain. Fang Ping sensed for a while and sneered. These fellows had waited until now to follow him in. Sima Zhao's intentions were clear to everyone. They're all following me in. That's good too. This means that these people really believe that only I enter will cause some changes. Fang Ping calculated in his heart, frowning slightly. If the sky punishing sword was really here, could he bring it away safely? Divine weapons were highly valued even by emperor-level powerhouses. Old Zhang had gotten the fishing rod. That day, he was incomparably arrogant. Even if a life king was there, he was not afraid and just wanted to do it. With the divine weapon, Old Cat could also directly torture and kill ordinary true kings. Not to mention the legendary sky punishing sword that was even more powerful. This sword was known to be able to break through anything. Once the sky punishing sword is out, I'm afraid even true kings won't be able to stay calm. When that time comes, I won't just be facing these rank 9s now, but also true king powerhouses. Is Old Zhang coming this time? Fang Ping was slightly worried. If Old Zhang came, it would be fine. However, this time, Old Zhang might not come. Previously, he had heard that Old Zhang's work had reached the final stage. In order to trap those true kings, he had no time to care about other things now. How would he have time to care about his own matters? Fang Ping felt that it was a pity. What a pity! Otherwise, if Old Zhang was here, he would not have to worry about these things at all. At the same time, Fang Ping and the others entered. At the same time, 10 southern territories, North Lake Catacombs, the bounded zone trembled slightly. In the next moment, several figures appeared above the Forbidden Sea tributary. Qi Huanyu took the lead, crossing the void directly. In the river, just as some demons were about to attack, the branches were shattered, and they were immediately seriously injured. Qi Huanyu, in the tributary, a rank 9 demon stepped out of the void, full of anger. Qi Huanyu sneered. He was not in a hurry to cross the river. Instead, he said playfully, "You want to try? I'll see if you can stop me then." As soon as he said that, the demon powerhouses in the Forbidden Sea were extremely furious. The Forbidden Sea was a forbidden land. Even true kings did not dare to barge in recklessly. Now, Qi Huanyu, who was not a true king powerhouse, was actually so arrogant. In the river, a demon powerhouse shouted, "Qi Huanyu, don't be insolent." Qi Huanyu interrupted him directly. "So what if I'm insolent? Is the Forbidden Sea that great? If it wasn't for the fact that we've been wholeheartedly dealing with the Land of Rebirth all these years, you guys would be nothing." Although Qi Huanyu's words were unpleasant to the ears, the demons still quieted down at this moment. Seeing that, Qi Huanyu sneered and stepped straight into the bounded zone. He had also experienced the personalities of these old fellows in the domain. Unless it was absolutely necessary, the demon race would not act. Furthermore, he was the strongest person below the true kings. These demons might not dare to provoke him. Qi Huanyu crossed the Forbidden Sea as though he was in a deserted place and headed towards the emperor's tomb. However, some people behind him also crossed the void. The demons in the sea were not to be trifled with, and they all attacked one after another. In the blink of an eye, a large number of powerhouses were dragged into the Forbidden Sea. Qi Huanyu, who was in front, did not care. Even when the people of Destiny Royal Palace were killed, he did not turn back to look at them. In just a short while, a huge battle broke out on the Forbidden Sea. Qi Huanyu had long disappeared from where he was. While the beasts and humans were fighting one another, a figure arrived at the scene at lightning speed. The powerhouses of the demons were about to attack when a saber gleam pierced through the air, and the entire Forbidden Sea was cut in half in the blink of an eye. At this moment, an old figure appeared and led dozens of powerhouses in with a faint smile. Zhao Xingwu had appeared. As he walked, Zhao Xingwu said coldly, "You guys dare to stop me? Won't it be less lively if I'm not here when the Emperor's tomb opens? Forget it. This time, maybe it's time for me to take the final step." Zhao Xingwu said calmly. It was not because he did not have enough accumulation, or because he had not comprehended the great Tao. The reason why he did not enter the Emperor's tomb was that he still had something to ask of him. However, when it came to a critical juncture, so what if he entered the Emperor's tomb? Zhao Xingwu was very confident. As for Qi Huanyu, who entered before him, ordinary rank 9s might not be able to do anything to him. However, as long as he entered the Emperor's tomb, Qi Huanyu would be nothing. Zhao Xingwu no longer hesitated and walked in the void. Along the way, some demons who tried to stop him were killed on the spot. Zhao Xingwu snorted coldly. These useless people wanted to stop him. It was time for Zhao Xingwu to get involved in the opening of the Emperor's tomb. Unquestionable sword. Zhao Xingwu's expression was indifferent. He was also very interested in whether Unquestionable Sword was dead or not. Furthermore, if he did not go, was there anyone who could deal with Qi Huanyu? The instant he stepped into the domain, Zhao Xingwu looked inside and said coolly, "Gong Yuzi, I hope you won't meddle." There was still an expert alive on Purple Cap Mountain's side. This time, true monarchs and Emperor's tomb did not enter the domain. Gong Yuzi, this living person, was the biggest variable. At this moment, experts from both sides stepped in one after another. At the same time, Imperial Sea Mountain. War King did not want to come initially, but he still arrived at this time. Standing at the peak of Imperial Sea Mountain, War King looked at the domain and chuckled. "Senior brother? Martial nephew? No matter who it is, I, Jiang Tianming, will not remember old friendships. This time, I don't have high requirements for my 2 descendants to enter. Just enter the Golden Body realm. We're all family. I'm not asking for anything. Helping you guard the gate for hundreds of years. This is what I deserve." Right then, inside Imperial Sea Mountain, a phantom suddenly appeared and said coolly, "Junior brother, the overall situation is more important." Overall situation? War King did not seem surprised by this. Yawning, he said with a cold smile, "I don't care about the overall situation or anything. This time, if my 2 descendants don't enter rank 8, then I'll tear down your tortoise house." "Junior brother, why do you have to do this? Don't call me junior brother," War King said impatiently. "Who's your junior brother? Gong Yuzi, right? Whether you're Gong Yuzi or Unquestionable Jian, I don't care. I discovered the Emperor's tomb many years ago. It's prepared for my descendants. This time, my plan is completely disrupted. I don't care about this. My descendants enter and don't get the corresponding benefits. Then I'll attack you guys. We're family, then take care of our own people. If not, then I'm a stranger, an enemy." War King was also straightforward. If you gave benefits, he would recognize you as family. If not, who would care about you? As for what happened back then, he had long forgotten. The current them were not who they were back then. After hundreds of years, War King did not care what his identity was at all. This was also not the first time he saw this phantom. He had seen it before. That time was also a lucky coincidence. But at that time, the other party did not say anything. He really thought that it was a real phantom. Now, he knew that the other party might be his senior brother. But that was also nothing. He was no longer who he was in the past. He was a top powerhouse among the top. He would not be careless with these people either. Hearing that, the phantom continued, "Looks like you also know a little. Why did you choose to support outsiders?" "Outsiders?" War King said indifferently, "I haven't cultivated to the point of severing my emotions. Since you guys don't show up, then I naturally have to support my descendants. Less nonsense. If it doesn't work this time, we'll continue next time." He was not in the mood to pay attention to this old antique right now. According to Heavenly King Subduing's words, he was Gong Yuzi's junior brother, but so what? Several hundred years, he had long forgotten everything, not caring about the phantom anymore. War King's gaze turned to other places. This also made many people feel much more relaxed. War King's existence was also a stabilizing force. At this moment, powerhouses entered the domain one after another from all directions, and in the sky above the domain, explosions sounded incessantly. The Emperor's tomb was about to completely open. The youth was an emperor, a descendant of the supreme Chang Rong Tian Great Emperor. He was not the second generation, but their bloodline was very close. The young man nodded slightly. He looked at Fong Ping and the others with a dark look in his eyes. Soon, he ignored them and looked at the pitch-black cracks, saying, "Senior Chang, this place doesn't take up much space. Is there a summer space inside?" "There should be." Chang Shanqi nodded and said, "The void of heaven and earth here is slightly different. It might be a small world similar to heavens beyond. Back then, the great emperors died in battle here, and the devil emperor self-destructed. It's very likely that a small world was created." The young man understood and continued to transmit his voice. "Fong Ping's group is not weak. If they really took away the sky-crushing sword or the emperor's corpses, it would not be appropriate. Even if we have our own arrangements, we still have to be on guard. If these people really take these things away, it will be troublesome." Chang Shanqi pondered for a moment and looked at Lu Ji, who was not far away. Lu Ji's expression did not change. He nodded slightly and cast his gaze towards the Forbidden Sea. There were humans there who claimed to be from the Forbidden Sea's nameless mountain. Lu Ji had already contacted them. Once they entered the Emperor's tomb, they could join forces at any time, although the powerhouses from all sides had their own plans. However, treasures like the sky-crushing sword could be obtained. It would be best if they could obtain it directly and take the initiative. Seeing this, Chang Shanqi also looked towards the Forbidden Sea humans. They did not say anything. However, both sides looked at each other and had a tacit understanding. In the next moment, Chang Shanqi looked at Wang Hanyue. What did the dragon transformation Brahma mean? Wang Hanyue saw him looking over and frowned slightly. After thinking for a while, she transmitted her voice to Wang Ruobing. "Ruobing, you don't have to enter the Emperor's tomb. Just wait outside. You are Master's daughter. If you don't participate in the battle for treasures, no one will attack you. I will bring Tian Ho and the others in. Senior sister, I want to go in." Wang Ruobing looked serious and transmitted her voice. "Ruobing is not unreasonable. Father asked me to come this time because there is an opportunity in the Emperor's tomb. Maybe it can completely cure my injuries. Father originally wanted to come, but if he did, he would definitely become the center of attention of all the powerhouses. All these years, Ruobing implicated father, senior brothers, and senior sisters. Wang Ruobing's expression was gloomy. When father returned from the battle, he was seriously injured, but he still had to fight for Ruobing. This caused father's injuries to worsen, and he has not fully recovered after so many years. Ruobing knows that father does not care about the divine artifact or the Tao of the demon emperors. Father asked senior sister and I to come this time for Ruobing's injuries. Speaking of this, Wang Hanyue also sighed and sighed. Although Wang Ruobing was the dragon transformation celestial Thearcha's daughter and the youngest one, she had existed for a very long time. She had older brothers and sisters, but most of them died in battle. They had died long before the dragon transformation. Celestial Duarch became an emperor. Wang Ruobing was the celestial Thearcha's youngest daughter and was originally doted on. However, Wang Ruobing had been injured since she was very young. Wang Hanyue did not know exactly what kind of injury it was. She only knew that all these years the celestial Duarch had spent a lot of effort to seal Wang Ruobing. He was also worried that his daughter would be too lonely after being sealed for a long time. After a period of time, he would remove the seal and let her out to sea. This happened 3 times, and the celestial Duarch was also mentally and physically exhausted. This time, the other celestial Thearchs came to the emperor's tomb for other venerable emperor's daos and divine weapons, but the celestial Duarch was more to get a treasure that could treat Wang Ruobing. Unfortunately, the celestial Duarch could not come rashly, or he might be surrounded and attacked by many experts. Hearing her say this, Wang Hanyue thought about it and said, "Before Master came, he said that when the emperor's tomb opened this time, the demon emperor might help Purple Cap Mountain find a successor, or even himself. Although the demon emperor is young, he has been to the heaven realm and is on good terms with the sky emperor. He has many treasures. Master once went to the heaven realm to ask for a treasure for junior sister, wanting to treat her injury. However, all the emperors were there back then, and the thing Master asked for was too precious. The emperors were not willing to give it away for no reason. When the heaven realm was destroyed, the treasure might still exist. Since the demon emperor went to the heaven realm, he might have brought this treasure back. However, Master asked junior sister to come here personally. Wang Hanyue was still a little confused. Did he expect the demon emperor to accept junior sister as a successor and give her this treasure? Master valued Wang Ruobing very much, but this time he asked junior sister to come here. Was he not afraid that something would happen in the emperor's tomb? Or did Master have other plans? Thinking about it, coupled with Wang Ruobing's insistence, Wang Hanyue quickly said, "All right, but junior sister must follow me closely. Don't act rashly." After entering the emperor's tomb, all parties will tear apart their current hypocritical appearance, and a great war will break out very soon. When that time comes, we will be in danger too. Don't worry, senior sister. Ruobing will not bring you trouble. Wang Ruobing responded. At this moment, around the emperor's tomb, black cracks were obliterated, exploding in the void. "It's opening!" Someone shouted. Many people were ready to move. The emperor's tomb was about to open. "You guys follow me closely later." At this moment, Wang Jinyang's vitality was also boiling, and he said, "Don't wander around, especially Jiang Hao. Jiang Chao, you guys are only rank 7. Before he finished speaking, Jiang Chao and Jiang Hao looked gloomy. "You said it, as if you were not rank 7. Wang Jinyang did not care about them, and continued, after entering, "Try not to split up. Right now, everyone is watching us." When he said this, Fang Ping said, "If we can split up, that's fine too. Everyone's focus is on me. I'll attract their attention." "Old Wang, you guys look for your own opportunities. Not many people are watching you guys. It's not bad to sneak in. They probably won't expect that you're the one who's being attracted this time." The opening of the emperor's tomb this time did not attract Fang Ping, but Wang Jinyang. Obviously, there was something in the emperor's tomb that was extremely important to Wang Jinyang. Having said that, Fang Ping said again, "We can also enter North Lake." The emperor's tomb seems to have cut off the boundary zone directly. The other party might be on the other side now, waiting to enter. There are many powerhouses there too. If Zhao Xingwu comes, everyone try not to clash with him. At a critical moment, I mean, at a critical moment, maybe you can try to ask him for help. As for whether he can help, I'm not sure now. Whether Zhao Xingwu was arranged by Old Zhang, Fang Ping was not sure. Old Zhang said last time, everyone's path was different, but the direction was still the same. Obviously, Zhao Xingwu was very likely to seek refuge in the catacombs himself. He had his own thoughts. Maybe he did not betray humans in the general direction, but he might not help humans at this time. Understood. Everyone answered one after another. At this moment, Wang Jinyang growled, "Go!" After saying that, Wang Jinyang's speed was extremely fast, soaring into the air, heading straight for a black rift. At the periphery, it seemed to be Wang Ruobing, exclaiming softly. These people crashed into the space rift directly. For this thing, if the golden body forging was not strong, even if it was a rank 8, they would still be easily killed. Among these people, it seemed like a few of them were not even rank 8. The other forces at the periphery also did not move at this time, preparing to wait and see. While they were waiting, Fang Ping and the group entered the black rift one after another, not being cut by the rift. That's the entrance. Someone exclaimed. At this moment, Fang Ping and Wu Chuan, who entered last, smiled at the people outside. Then, the two of them joined forces, vitality outburst, bombarding the rift together. Damn it! Chang Shanqi cursed angrily. The two powerhouses bombarded together. The rift suddenly trembled. In the next moment, it collapsed like water waves, merging into one with some of the surrounding rifts. Fang Ping and Wu Chuan's silhouettes also quickly disappeared into the darkness. Chang Shanqi and the others rushed over. Seeing that the rift they entered earlier had disappeared, many people's faces were livid. They found the entrance. Sure enough, the emperor's tomb is related to them. Fang Ping is very likely the reincarnation of the devil emperor. Everyone, if anyone has a way to find the entrance, quickly enter. Otherwise, once they enter and take away the treasures inside the emperor's tomb, we will have come here for nothing. If they hide and do not come out, then we will be in even more trouble. These people were discussing animatedly. At this moment, a long sword flew over from the sky. It was not a long sword. Looking at it closely, many people realized that it was a monster plant. Demon Swordsman, the leader of the Royal Sea Mountain Demon Clan, the one who fought with Li Wuji previously, and even the existence of Li Wuji's ability pressure. Entrance, let's try. Once Demon Swordsman arrived, he did not hesitate. The dozens of demons behind him flew toward the rift one after another. Most of them were middle-ranked demons. A demon had just entered the rift, and with a puff, it was cut into pieces. Blood seeped out of the rift, especially bloody. The other demons acted as if they did not see it, continuing to attack. One by one, the rifts shook, and the demon was cut one by one. Dozens of demons, dead and injured in the blink of an eye. Everyone was abnormally indifferent. It was just a group of middle-ranked demons. If they died, then they died. It would be best if they could find the correct entrance. However, there were many rifts here, densely packed. Dozens of demons, but only dozens of rifts were probing. At this moment, Demon Swordsman's mentality fluctuated, saying, "There are 100 rifts on each side. Otherwise, if I find the entrance, I will also destroy the entrance like Fang Ping." Demon Swordsman was not really selfless. It was just trying first to express its sincerity. However, there were so many rifts. Who knew which one was the real one? It did not bring too many demons. If it took a long time to find the entrance, the demons that came would all die. It could not afford such a loss. Okay. At this moment, someone responded. A powerhouse controlled hundreds of flying swords, suddenly flying toward the rift. When the flying swords came into contact with the rift, they shattered instantly. At this time, these people each showed their supernatural powers. Some people split their mentality, probing one by one, stirring up waves. Some people's eyes shone with golden light, as if they were opening their heavenly eye, probing the rift. Outside Emperor's tomb, everyone was probing the correct path. In the black rift, Fang Ping and the others' vision went black. In the blink of an eye, they appeared at another rift. In front, Wang Jinyang, who was leading the way, said in a low voice, "There is actually more than one door. In a place like Emperor's tomb, the periphery is overlapped with multiple spatial passageways. If you're not careful, you'll go the wrong way." As for the consequences of going the wrong way, it was self-evident. Fang Ping looked around. At this moment, they seemed to be in a corridor. Behind the corridor was the spatial passageway, just now, and in front was another new passageway. If you say this is naturally formed, no one will believe it. "Inside, is there anyone?" Fang Ping said. Wu Chuan said in a low voice, "Whether there is anyone or not, since we've come to this point, we can only press forward. Even if we retreat now, the fellows behind won't agree. But it's good too. These fellows don't know the correct passageway. A group of people will die." Everyone nodded. This time, there were too many people. There were also dozens of rank 9. If some of them died, the pressure on them would be greatly reduced. This went on for 3 times. After walking through 3 spatial passageways consecutively, everyone's eyes lit up. They had arrived at Emperor's tomb. Behind them, there was a faint scream. Fang Ping and the others could not care about those people behind them. As soon as they entered, old Wang's vitality suddenly erupted, his entire body turning blood red. Fang Ping did not even have time to see what the Emperor's tomb looked like. He looked at Wang Jinyang hurriedly. Wang Jinyang was shrouded in blood red. He seemed to be in great pain. Frowning, he clutched his chest and gasped for breath. The force that's guiding me is here. I can't control my blood energy. Is it dangerous? I can't feel it for the time being. It's just that the pulling force is stronger. I can't control it. The few of them conversed for a while. Seeing that old Wang was fine, Fang Ping did not say anything more. He frowned and looked around. "Store a mountain in a mustard seed," Fang Ping murmured. From the outside, Emperor's tomb did not seem to occupy a large area. In fact, the entire bounded domain did not seem to be too big. However, now that he had entered, it was as if he had entered a new world. The sky was blood red, appearing slightly dusky. Not only the sky, but the entire world seemed to be blood red, dyed red by fresh blood. Tian Mu squatted down, grabbed a handful of soil, and said in a low voice, "It seems to be formed by the vitality force seeping through for many years." As he spoke, a blood-red monster suddenly shot out from the soil. Its sharp pincers pierced straight at Tian Mu's forehead. Tian Mu's reaction was also extremely fast. He punched out. Rumble! A loud explosion was heard. The blood-red monster flew out and landed on the ground. At this moment, a shocking scene appeared. The monster seemed to have turned into a liquid. A mass of blood-red blood seeped into the ground. The monster that ambushed Tian Mu just now disappeared. Fang Ping released his mentality, sensing his surroundings. His expression was gloomy. "I can't sense this place." "No, it's not that I can't sense it. This place is enveloped by an emperor-level powerhouse's coercion. It gives me the feeling that danger is everywhere." He actually could not sense the monster's location just now. To him, this was almost non-existent. It had always been like this for him. However, right now, the monster seemed to have merged into one with this place. He could not find it at all. Rank 8. Tian Mu's expression was also solemn. "It has the strength of a rank 8. When I punched out, It was as if I punched into water. The other party has dispersed the force. What the hell is this thing? Blood. At this moment, Wang Jinyang spoke while clutching his heart. It's blood. The blood of a powerhouse. Wang Jinyang panted. When a powerhouse died, his mentality did not dissipate completely. This place is special. The blood of a powerhouse did not dissipate. Instead, it accumulated over time, becoming stronger and stronger. In the blood, some life origin remained. In addition to the remaining mentality, it created such a special type of blood monster. Blood. Everyone was slightly shocked. The blood of a powerhouse, on this basis, actually gave birth to life and a new species of monster. Under normal circumstances, when a powerhouse died, there would be almost no blood left behind. Of course, when a powerhouse died, their flesh would be left behind. In the land of kings, there were also powerhouses whose flesh did not vanish. On the basis of their flesh, some intelligence was born. In the past, they had killed many rank 9 powerhouses in the rank 9 region. At Star Town, there were rank 9s who witnessed it. At that time, Fong Ping thought that it was Old Wang and the others' corpses. But that was flesh. Fong Ping did not expect that even blood could give birth to life. The vitality of the dead powerhouses was also shocking. Moreover, Emperor's Tomb was really special. After so many years, the strength of the blood did not actually dissipate. Instead, it became stronger. An emperor-level powerhouse's blood should not have the strength of a rank. Hey, be careful, Fong Ping shouted. Then he shouted, Brother Wu, protect the Jiang brothers. Iron Head, protect Old Yao and Old Wang. Instructor Li, Brother Tian, lead the way. I'll cover. As he spoke, Fong Ping's divine saber appeared and slashed. In front of him, there was nothing before. Suddenly, a blood-red monster appeared and attacked Fong Ping. Crack! The Changdao slashed. The blood-red monster was cut in half. In the blink of an eye, it turned into 2 blobs of blood that dripped onto the ground. It merged into the ground and disappeared without a trace. Fong Ping did not say anything. He slashed the ground with his saber. Red soil splattered everywhere. Immediately after, rumble! There was an explosion. The void trembled. Fong Ping took a step back, cursing, What the hell? There's actually a seal underground. Jiang Chao continued, Emperor's Tomb is still in the boundary land. There are seals underground in the boundary land. Emperor's Tomb has them too. Don't attack the underground rashly. Otherwise, it'll be very dangerous. There were seals underground. They were very lethal. Back then in the Tianan boundary land, Yang Daohong and the other rank 9s almost all died because of this kind of seal. The first time Fong Ping went to pull out that stone monument, it also caused the seal to riot. Fong Ping cursed under his breath. He lifted his head and looked at the blood-red sky. He said in a low voice, If that's the case, there's an 80 to 90% chance that there's a space rift in the sky that mainly kills. Since the surroundings are protected by space rifts, there must be one in the sky, too. Should be. Jiang Chao responded. Very quickly, he said, My elder ancestor said that we can't stay in this place for long. Everyone, hurry up. Many emperor-level powerhouses died in this place back then. Their resentment runs deep. If we stay here for a long time, we'll be easily affected, especially our mentality. It's easy to be contaminated with some impurities. Where did the blood demon beasts go after merging into the ground? Fong Ping was more concerned about this. He frowned again. This thing turns into blood at every turn. It disappears after merging into the ground. How do we kill it? We're still fine. But if we attack Fatty and the rest, we'll be in danger. At this time, Wang Jinyang thought for a while. he said in a low voice. We can use vitality force to slowly grind them to death. Leave it to me later. My vitality force has the effect of corroding blood. This kind of demon's power is built on blood. If we corrode their blood power, this kind of blood demon will lose its power and collapse completely. Fang Ping nodded. He looked ahead. There was no end in sight. This place seemed to be a bloody wasteland. Vaguely, there seemed to be something in front. The place where old Wang felt the pull was also in front. Fang Ping wanted to speak. About 1,000 meters away from them, the space rift behind them suddenly shook. Someone's coming. Wu Chuan said quickly, it seems to be coming from the other side. It should be the people from Beihu. Let's go. Fang Ping did not dare to delay. With a low shout, the group left this place quickly. It would be fine if they were from Nanjiang. However, there were many powerhouses from Beihu. Some veteran rank 9s were all at Beihu. If they encountered Qi Huanyu here, Fang Ping, and the rest might not be his match even if they joined forces. That guy was indeed terrifyingly strong. Chun Yaozu and the other 3 had actually suffered a loss in his hands even when they joined forces. Just as Fang Ping and the rest left, a figure appeared. As soon as he appeared, Qi Huanyu swept his spear across the void. In the void, a blood shadow was dispersed by him directly, turning into blood that dripped onto the ground. This time, there was no phenomenon of it merging into the ground. The blood turned black in the blink of an eye, corroding the ground with a sizzling sound. Qi Huanyu glanced at it. He was not surprised at all. He sneered. A temple master-level blood avatar. You think you can stop me with this? Qi Huanyu did not care about this. Although the blood demon was not weak, it was not a match for him. His spear had directly destroyed the other party's power origin. This blood was completely dead. He glanced ahead. At this moment, he seemed to be able to vaguely see a few figures. Qi Huanyu looked for a while, chuckled softly, and chased after them with the midair step. That was Fang Ping in front, right? He did not expect them to be so fast. There are remnants of powerhouses here. Maybe there are really powerhouses' corpses here. The existence of Tao. At this moment, a thought came to Qi Huanyu's mind. Maybe I should change to another Tao, the first person below, the true king? So what? As long as the life king did not die, he was destined not to become a true king. However, his own Tao had reached its peak. All these years, even if there was a true king Tao for him, he might not be willing to exchange it. However, this time, the powerhouses who died in the emperor's tomb were all so-called emperor-level powerhouses. In his eyes, they were the temple master-level powerhouses. If the Tao was still there after the death of such powerhouses, perhaps he could change to another Tao and walk on the origin Tao. Chapter 899. At the same time, the Forbidden Ocean. In the ocean, the cat patted Jiao and said unhappily, "Grow bigger." Jiao felt wronged. What do you take me for? Even though it was unhappy, Jiao still grew bigger. The cat was unhappy again. Puppy, grow bigger and flatten your back. It's so uncomfortable. How can you use this as a dining table? Jiao wanted to turn around and bite it. You want to use me as a dining table? I'll bite you to death one day. Cunning cursed in his heart, but he obediently grew bigger, and obediently retracted his golden armor, making it much smoother. A small table appeared in the cat's paws, and spread out on Jiao's back. Then, a bunch of snacks appeared on the table, along with a few steaming dishes. Chubby face, let's eat together. Eat before you work. The cat thought it was generous enough to brush its fur, until now. I'll treat you to a meal. Fan Yuan looked gloomy. It was a rare experience, but she still happily sat opposite the cat and started to eat. The cat ignored her and started eating, saying, "Puppy, Swim a little closer to the shore. There seems to be a small ditch there. You can swim there. Jiao could not help but ask with its spiritual power, Big Cat King, it won't be dangerous if we go there to steal the divine artifact, will it? The cat tilted its head, thinking as it ate. After a while, it said, Dangerous? I don't think so. I'm going to get my own divine artifact. It was mine in the first place. I lent it to Lil Sword. Since Lil Sword doesn't want it anymore, shouldn't I take it back? Jiao thought so too. It was also a greedy cat. After some thought, Jiao asked, Cat King, I heard there are Powerhouse's corpses over there. Why don't you take some? I'll become stronger after eating them. It wanted to eat Powerhouse's corpses. That was a true king powerhouse. If it devoured the corpses of such powerhouses, it would become very powerful. The cat, however, slapped its head madly. The cat's face was full of anger. Puppy, you can't eat everything. It's disgusting. Dead people. You'll eat dead people. Jiao almost vomited blood. I don't care if they're dead or not. Powerhouses. Powerhouses' corpses were extremely powerful. If it devoured them, it would definitely become stronger. But this stupid cat actually found it disgusting. I'm not asking you to eat it. What was even more hateful was the delicious food in the eyes of this stupid cat. There was no energy fluctuation. Cunning was about to explode in anger. How could something like that be called a delicacy? Even if they ate it, it would be a waste. This cat was really stupid. The cat patted Jiao, while Feng Yuan ate her pork ribs. She asked curiously, Big cat, when did you steal pork ribs from my house? I didn't steal it, the old cat corrected. The ribs flew here by themselves, and I picked them up. Feng Yuan rolled her eyes. This cat is so shameless. Only your ribs can fly on their own. Is my brother here? Yes. As the cat spoke, it suddenly poked its tail into the sea. A monster that looked like a water buffalo was poked by the cat's tail. The cat took a look and seemed to be hesitating whether this thing was delicious or not. After some consideration, he asked Feng Yuan, Chubby Face, do you want beef? He didn't really like it, but since he had poked it, if little Chubby Face liked it, Kacha! Before Feng Yuan could say anything, the Jiao had swallowed it whole. A 9th-grade monster. This cat was terrifyingly strong. A 9th-grade monster could be poked to death just like that. The cat didn't eat it, but the Jiao ate it. Smack, smack, smack. The cat's tail slapped its head again and huffed. It's not cooked yet, puppy. If you keep eating it so disgustingly, I'm going to get angry. The puppy was too disgusting. It ate it raw. It even ate it until it was bloody. The cat was really going to get angry. The Jiao said nothing. Go ahead and hit me. I've eaten a 9th-grade monster. Anyway, that's enough. As the cat and the Jiao argued, Feng Yuan asked worriedly, Big cat, will my brother be okay? I don't know. The cat shook its head. Little Sword seems to be up to no good, but I don't know what he's up to. He knows my ability. And now he doesn't even miss me. The cat looked innocent and wronged. Bad guy. They're done. Little Sword didn't die, but not only did he not come looking for me, he also doesn't miss me now. The cat had no idea where he was or what he was thinking. Little Sword knew its ability. It didn't miss the cat, and the cat couldn't sense anything. Although its ability was extraordinary, it could only sense things that were related to it. It couldn't sense things that had nothing to do with it. Big cat, let's go find my brother. If we meet bad guys, can you poke them to death for him? No. The cat's mouth was full of grease. I don't want to poke people to death. I don't want to fight. I'm here to take away the Sky Destroyer. However, as the Jiao approached the bounded domain, the cat's eyes showed a hint of suspicion. Ah, what's that? The cat looked at the imperial tomb. In its eyes, the tomb was blood red. Bang, bang, bang. It was not just blood red. The tomb seemed to be pulsing. The cat was confused. What is this? It had some impression of it, but it couldn't remember. Who's that? The cat muttered and looked at Fang Yuan. Who's that? Liar's friend. Blood red, what's his name? Fang Yuan reacted and said hurriedly, Brother Wang, Wang Jinyang. Oh, that's him. Why did he leave his thing here? The cat pointed at the bounded domain in front and said curiously, I think he left it here. Does he know Little Sword too? What thing? Fang Yuan was also curious. What did Brother Wang leave here? The cat thought for a long time and suddenly shut up. It would affect its meal if it said anything. However, as it ate, the cat scratched its head with its claws. What was Little Sword trying to do? Did it know that blood red fellow? The cat began to recall. Blood red? Who was blood red? It should have hated blood red fellows. If that was the case, it either forgot or didn't want to remember. It was definitely not a happy memory. The cat continued eating. As it ate, it suddenly said, Little Sword went to the heavenly realm before. I wonder if he brought me good food there. Fang Yuan maintained its curiosity and asked, What's good in the heavenly realm? Lots. The cat squinted its eyes. There really was a lot of good food. The fish pond of the Eastern royal family. There were many delicious fish. The orchard of the imperial family. There were many delicious drinks. The vegetable field of the imperial family. There were also many fresh vegetables. Oh, right. Who else planted a lot of fish heads? They were the best. Unfortunately, after planting a few times, it secretly ate all of them, and the other people stopped planting them. It could only eat in the cat world now. The cat felt a little regretful. It really did not remember much about the past in the heavenly realm. However, it still remembered the delicious food in the heavenly realm. He wondered if Little Sword found these delicious food when he went to the heavenly realm. Just as the cat was recalling these delicious food, inside the emperor's tomb, Fang Ping and the others looked solemn. There were more and more blood monsters, and they were getting stronger. From rank 8 strength in the beginning, some blood monsters had rank 9 strength now. Something's wrong with this place. Fang Ping's expression was ugly. No matter how strong an emperor-level powerhouse was, they could not do this. Rank 9 with a drop of blood. Emperor-level powerhouses did not have this strength. Emperors were more or less the same. Wang Jinyang's face was also pale, his breathing becoming more and more rapid. Something's wrong. These blood monsters are not purely formed by the blood of powerhouses. There seems to be a special kind of power. If this goes on, we'll be in trouble. Tianmu looked back. Behind them, a great battle had broken out, and the sound of explosions was endless. Someone was following them from behind. The blood monsters were getting stronger and stronger. They could not move an inch now. Every time they walked a certain distance, they would be attacked by monsters. What should we do? Tianmu asked. Fang Ping thought for a while, then said in a low voice, How about this? Old Wang, you guys go first. Instructor Li, Senior Tian, and I will cover the rear. I'll cover the rear, Wu Chuan said, his expression solemn. I'm not sure what's going on in front, but behind it should be Qi Huanyu and the rest. You guys can't stop him. The last time I fought him, he was indeed very strong. I can still hold them off for a while. You guys go first. Once you get the things, see if there are any other exits, then leave immediately. Senior Wu, it's okay? Wu Chuan chuckled. Looking down on me? Even if I'm not his match, he's not qualified to kill me. Tianmu said, immediately, Wu Chuan will cover the rear, then. We'll go first. Don't be so wishy-washy. If he dies, it's because he's weak. Wu Chuan did not know whether to laugh or cry. Am I weak? Why are you guys looking down on me now? I'm one of the guardians. Okay, Old Manly said. Feng Ping, you, and Wang Jinyang will go together. It's best if you don't act separately. The situation in Emperor's Tomb is not right this time. You might be of some use if you stay by Wang Jinyang's side. Even if we follow, we won't be of much use. We'll try our best to delay the others. Hurry up. Seeing that they insisted, Feng Ping took a deep breath. Without another word, he walked forward quickly. Wu Chuan covered the rear alone. The rest did not stay. Less than a minute after Feng Ping and the rest left, a silhouette stepped on the air and arrived. Wu Chuan. Seeing Wu Chuan, Qi Huanyu chuckled softly and said lightly, "Are you staying behind to stop me?" "You are not qualified." Qi Huanyu sneered. Wu Chuan was a powerhouse to the average rank, 9, but to him, he was just average. "I'm not planning to stop you." Wu Chuan laughed. "I just want to ask, what's your purpose? Maybe we don't have any conflicts. In Emperor's Tomb this time, there are many powerhouses from all sides. Everyone is here for their own interests. If there's no conflict of interests, there's no need for a fight now. Do you have the right to question me?" Qi Huanyu sneered. His figure moved, breaking through the air and stabbing at Wu Chuan. Wu Chuan moved quickly too. Holding a long sword, he made a flurry. The spear and sword collided in the air, creating a loud noise. Qi Huanyu did not move an inch. Wu Chuan took a small step back. With one move, it was clear who was superior. Wu Chuan's expression became much more serious. He said coldly, "So, you're determined to be our enemy?" "Wu Chuan, do you think you're a martial king?" Qi Huanyu laughed lightly. His speed increased like lightning. At this moment, the entire space was filled with spear shadows. Wu Chuan also attacked continuously. The sound of spear and sword colliding was deafening. After a while, Qi Huanyu returned to his original position. He put away his spear and stood, his expression calm. Opposite him, the golden blood in Wu Chuan's hand dripped slowly along the hilt of his sword. The web between his thumb and forefinger was torn, and his bones were dislocated. In a short time, he was injured by Qi Huanyu. As expected of the strongest person below the true kings, Wu Chuan sighed softly. Then he smiled faintly. "Even so what? Qi Huanyu, I don't want to fight you. It'll only benefit others. If you really want to fight, I won't be afraid of anyone." Qi Huanyu was about to speak when he suddenly frowned. The next moment, a figure appeared in a flash behind him. "Get lost." The old man behind him had his hair and beard fluttering. He was extremely fast, barging his way through, not caring if there was anyone in front of him. "Zhao Xingwu." Qi Huanyu snorted coldly. His voice was icy. "You still dare to show yourself? Get lost, you old thing." Zhao Xingwu was also extremely insolent. He shouted coldly, "Do you want to try my saber again?" As soon as he finished speaking, his saber had already slashed through the air. Rumble! The void exploded immediately. Qi Huanyu let out a low growl as well. His spear pierced through the air. Both of them fought through the air. The shock waves were extremely powerful. A rank 8 blood demon that had just appeared was killed by both of them in the air. "Qi Huanyu, don't be crazy with me. You're just trash that can't reach the top. Do you really think that I won't dare to break through now? I'll kill you on the spot." "You can try. I want to fight a true king too. It'll be even more interesting if you break through." Qi Huanyu was also fearless. He wanted to fight a true king too. However, he was definitely not a match for a veteran true king. If Zhao Xingwu had just advanced to true king, however, he might be able to fight him. If he could fight a true king, without dying, he might achieve a breakthrough in his Tao, although his Tao had been taken away. The aura of being able to fight a true king without dying might be able to help him forcibly break through to the 1,000-meter Great Tao. At that time, it would be a new beginning. He could slightly change his core Tao, and it might not be impossible for him to continue walking down this path. Right now, he was one step away from reaching the 1,000-meter Tao, and he could no longer change his Tao forcefully. Both of them were extremely powerful. Right now, they were at each other's throats. Wu Chuan looked at Zhao Xingwu with a complicated expression and said slowly, "Alliance Master Zhao." Zhao Xingwu glanced at him and said calmly, "I'm no longer the Alliance Master of the sections. I'm the Left Commander of the Heaven Plant's Royal Court." Sigh. Wu Chuan sighed and said with a complicated expression, "At least no humans have died in your hands. I'll still call you Alliance Master. In the future, we'll see." Zhao Xingwu was cold and said nothing. He looked into the distance and said coldly, "I want to go over. Guardian Wu, are you going to stop me?" Wu Chuan frowned and said, "Not now." "Guardian Wu, are you sure you want to stop me?" Zhao Xingwu said. Qi Huanyu also sneered and said, "Wu Chuan, you want to stop the two of us alone." Buzz. He had just said that when Zhao Xingwu slashed out with his saber, causing the void to explode. "You think you're worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as me?" Zhao Xingwu's tone was extremely arrogant. So what if he was the number one person below the true king? If they really fought, he might not be Qi Huanyu's match. However, the difference was not that great. If Qi Huanyu wanted to win, he would have to pay a huge price. Although he had lost in their previous fight, he had also severed Qi Huanyu's head. Qi Huanyu was not someone to be trifled with. Seeing Zhao Xingwu's domineering attitude, his eyes flashed with rage, and he charged over with his spear without saying a word. The two figures were like light and shadow, constantly intersecting in the void. Cracks appeared in the sky one after another. They were not caused by their fight, but by the restrictions of this place. The cracks were extremely powerful and swept past the two of them. In the blink of an eye, countless bloody wounds appeared on their bodies. While the two of them were fighting, many people arrived from behind. Ji Yao shouted from afar, "Grandpa Huanyu, stop!" "Left Commander, calm down!" Ji Yao and Huanyu spoke at the same time. Qi Huanyu was the strongest person from the Heaven Plant's royal court that entered this time. Zhao Xingwu was also the strongest person from the Heaven Plant's royal court that entered. If the two of them fought here, wouldn't the others benefit? The two figures quickly separated. Zhao Xingwu glanced at Ji Yao and the rest, then at the grandmasters who had arrived one after another, and sneered. Useless people trying to snatch the opportunity. As soon as he said that, the powerhouses were enraged. Zhao Xingwu's vitality soared, not caring about their anger. He looked at Huayu and said coldly, "This old man will not protect your safety. However, if you die, this old man will avenge you on behalf of the royal court for taking me in that day." As he said that, he looked coldly at the powerhouses in the crowd. Suddenly, he swept a glance at Devil Swordsman, his gaze moving slightly. "You have been to the Emperor's tomb before." As soon as he said that, everyone looked at the sword tree. Qi Huanyu also looked for a while and said coldly, "Indeed, I have been here before. Your body has the blood aura of the chaotic powerhouses here. You grew up here in the beginning." Before Devil Swordsman finished speaking, two figures moved so fast that no one could react. Qi Huanyu and Zhao Xingwu attacked directly. These two powerhouses had no scruples here at all. Compared to Fang Ping, they were more qualified to be arrogant. As long as a true king did not appear, they were fearless. Even if a true king appeared, they might not be afraid. One wanted to fight a true king, while the other could take that step at any time and reach the pinnacle. They were not afraid of ordinary true kings at all. A spear and a saber quickly broke through the void. In the blink of an eye, the two arrived at the Mount Royal Sea Demon's side. Poof! A rank 9 monster that was blocking the way was directly slashed into pieces. When two peak rank 9 monsters attacked, their destructive power was not weaker than ordinary weak peak. Even if there was a difference, it was more than enough to deal with these rank 9 monsters that were not considered powerful. You dare. Devil Swordsman was furious, but he was also a little frightened. Previously, he heard that powerhouses appeared in the 10 southern regions, but he did not expect them to be so powerful. These two were actually not true kings. For a moment, Devil Swordsman could not believe it. At this stage, why had they not become true kings? At this stage, the true kings were right in front of them. If they wanted to leave, why not? As the two attacked, the others also had solemn expressions. Chang Shanqi quickly transmitted his voice. Wang Hanyue, work together. These two have already reached the peak of the origin realm. You and I are not their match. No matter how confident they were, they had to admit that they were inferior. Not only them. At this moment, Devil Dragon, Li Wuji, Lu Ji, these powerhouses all transmitted their voices. Work together. These two were too powerful. If a true god did not appear, who could be their match? Even if all the forces had their own plans, they still quickly reached a consensus at this time. If these two attacked them, they would immediately work together to prevent being defeated one by one. Everyone was on guard, and at the same time, they were surprised that Devil Swordsman actually came from the Emperor's tomb. How did this sword tree come out from the Emperor's tomb? Why did it return this time? Just as everyone was pondering, Devil Swordsman's mentality fluctuated violently. I came from the Emperor's tomb, but I left the Emperor's tomb a long time ago due to an accident. Why are the two of you so ruthless? Kill him first, just in case something goes wrong. Zhao Xingwu's expression was cold. With a slash, he cut off the other party's route. Qi Huanyu suddenly stopped and said indifferently, "Tell me everything about the Emperor's tomb, and I will spare your life." Make him stop first. Devil Swordsman was also terrified. These two were too powerful. If he did not stop, he might really be killed. Even if he was also one of the top rank 9, his strength was comparable to Wu Chuan. How could he be a match for these two? Seeing that Zhao Xingwu was still attacking, Qi Huanyu suddenly attacked with his spear, blocking Zhao Xingwu. He said indifferently, "Zhao Xingwu, why are you in such a hurry? Stop first. Are you trying to buy time for Fang Ping and the others? They've been gone for a long time. You attacked me the moment you came. Do you really think I can't tell?" Zhao Xingwu sneered and stopped, saying coldly, So what if this old man protects them? Do you have a problem with that? Do you want to cause public anger? Qi Huanyu took a step forward. At this time, Chang Shanqi also took a step forward and said in a low voice, "Brother, why don't you ask about the situation first before making a plan? Since we're here in the Emperor's tomb, we won't just stand by and watch. Brother, please reconsider." He was still rather polite, and his warning was not obvious, because Zhao Xingwu was stronger than him. Zhao Xingwu saw powerhouses converging toward him from all directions and sneered. "Why? Want to join forces to attack me? Then you can give it a try. I'll see if I can kill all of you." After saying that, Zhao Xingwu's aura increased by 30%. He took a step into the air. This step made Chang Shanqi take a step back, his face full of vigilance. At that moment, he felt that this person would definitely become a true god if he took another step, one step away, truly one step away. This kind of powerhouse, logically speaking, should have stepped in. the true God realm long ago. He actually appeared here. Thinking of this, Chang Shanqi cursed in his heart. Once this person became a true God, it would be troublesome. However, at this time, someone said faintly, Brother Zhao, becoming a true God here will definitely cause the emperor's tomb to retaliate. The demon emperor set up the emperor's tomb. It's fine if non-true gods enter, but once true gods enter, it might trigger the sky-crushing sword to explode and kill Brother Zhao. Brother Zhao, think twice. After this person said that devil swordsmen also hurriedly used mentality to send a voice transmission. That's right. Becoming a true god in the emperor's tomb is not only the sky-crushing sword, but also the emperor corpse. With the stimulation of the great Tao origin, the emperor corpse will also awaken. Think thrice. So what? Zhao Xingwu said indifferently, This Zhao have never been threatened by others. Speak properly. This Zhao will still give you some face. If you don't speak properly, this Zhao might not die, but you all will die. When these words came out, everyone was helpless, but they had to admit that he indeed had this qualification. In the crowd, Qin Fengqing, who came with Su Bing and the rest, suddenly laughed lowly and said, Alliance Master Zhao's days are carefree. Senior Su, Alliance Master Zhao came from the human world. If he doesn't agree with one word, he might really kill all of us. Su Bing and the rest all frowned. The situation was getting more and more complicated. There were so many powerhouses. Could they really get something this time? And this Zhao Xingwu, what was he trying to do? Fang Ping and the rest had already left for a while, and he was actually still blocking here. Was he really trying to buy time for Fang Ping and the rest? Chapter 900. Fang Ping and the rest did not know about the chaos behind them. At this moment, everyone sped up, rushing forward. In front, Wang Jinyang's face was pale, clutching his heart. There's still some distance left. It's in the depths. Are you okay? My strength seems to be completely out of control. Wang Jinyang's expression was ugly. The thing in the depths is pulling me too much. What is it? It's not some holy fruit that I imagined. If it was, it wouldn't be like this. I'm afraid it has something to do with me. Something to do with you. Fang Ping frowned. He could not help but scold. What is Unquestionable Sword trying to do? That damn fellow. His wife was killed because of someone's scheme. Now he's learning from those fellows and scheming against others. Wang Jinyang took a deep breath. It might not be a scheme against me. Forget it. I'll think about it after I find it. As he spoke, a blood-red monster plant appeared in front of them. It was not a blood-red monster beast. It was a monster plant. Moreover, there were a few bright red fruits on the monster plant. Jiang Chao's expression suddenly brightened. He said hurriedly, I know this thing. The old ancestor said that this thing seems to be the monster plant that Minister Zhang picked up back then. It's actually bearing fruit. That monster plant allowed Minister Zhang to enter high rank quickly. It replenished his vitality, strengthened his physique, strengthened his bones. The effect of this thing is amazing. I'm talking about its life essence. It's bearing fruit. The effect must be even better. Fang Ping and the rest's eyes lit up. It was this thing. Many people knew that old Zhang picked up a monster plant in the North Lake catacombs. However, the monster plant that old Zhang picked up had better life essence. Not many people knew about this. At this moment, Fang Ping's gaze changed. If that's the case, the monster plant that Minister picked up really came from Emperor's tomb. Was someone secretly helping Minister or plotting against him? This person, needless to say, was either the Demon Emperor or the Purple Cap Mountain's master. Other than them, no one could kill monster plants in Emperor's tomb and throw them into the outer realm. Let's kill it first. Fong Ping bellowed. He did not waste any time and dashed forward quickly. Not only him, Tian Mu, and the rest did not need to be instructed. This monster plant was so effective even without bearing fruit. What about the fruits? Just as they rushed forward, the demon plant's psyche suddenly fluctuated and said, "Esteemed guests, there is no need to fight and kill. This lowly demon is here to welcome esteemed guests." Fong Ping and the others were stunned. Fong Ping quickly asked, "You can talk?" The blood-red tree was clearly rather surprised. Did the reciprocity realm demons not know how to speak? Fong Ping was not surprised by the rank 9 monster plant's mentality voice transmission, but he thought that the monsters and plants here were similar to the king battleground, slightly chaotic. The blood demon earlier proved this point. Now, a blood-red tree that looked like it was in a mess suddenly transmitted its voice. It was very rational. Naturally, Fong Ping was surprised. "The demons here have intelligence?" Fong Ping asked. After that, he did not care anymore. He asked quickly, "Are you here to welcome us?" This tree was also an expert of the origin Tao. Could it be that there really were other forces in the Emperor's tomb? The demon emperor is here? Yes. The giant tree looked at Wang Jinyang, who was in the crowd. A faint, old face appeared on the tree trunk. It seemed to be smiling. "Esteemed guest, I've been waiting for you for a long time." "Waiting for me?" Wang Jinyang said lightly. "We haven't met, right?" "Not yet." The blood-red tree's mentality fluctuated. "But I have indeed been waiting for esteemed guests for many years. In the past, Master once said that the esteemed guests would arrive sooner or later. I've finally waited." Wang Jinyang frowned. "Master? Unquestionable sword." "Yes." The blood-red tree agreed readily. This was out of everyone's expectations. Fong Ping did not expect the other party to admit that it was unquestionable sword that was controlling it. Fong Ping frowned and asked coldly, "Is unquestionable sword still here?" "No." The blood-red tree continued. "Esteemed guests, how about following me to Master's residence for a chat?" Before Master left, he left behind some items for honorable guest to pass on to honorable guest. Everyone exchanged glances and looked at Fong Ping. Fong Ping took a deep breath and nodded slowly. At this moment, the blood-red tree looked at Fong Ping, a little surprised. Clearly, it did not know that Fong Ping was the leader. This action allowed Fong Ping to make some deductions. Perhaps unquestionable sword was really just scheming against old Wang. It had nothing to do with him. The other party had set up the Emperor's tomb long ago and was waiting for old Wang to come. Unquestionable sword probably did not plan for him to come here. "Let's go then." "Oh, right. There are still many of our enemies behind us. They will interfere with us." The blood-red tree said telepathically, "No worries. I will let the blood demons stop them. Even if they can't stop them forever, there will be enough time." As it spoke, hundreds of blood demons appeared around Fong Ping and the rest. There were strong and weak blood demons among them. The strong ones had the aura of the origin Tao. The weak ones had rank 8 abilities. A sharp whistling sound came from inside the blood-red tree. These blood demons seemed to have received an order. One by one, they melted into the ground. Fong Ping saw a wave of blood rushing toward the periphery. Clearly, these blood demons were going to stop the people behind. Fong Ping frowned slightly and asked, "Are there a lot of blood demons?" The blood-red tree replied, "Blood demons are formed by the fusion of Emperor's blood. That was all of them just now." "So, there are no more blood demons here now?" "That's right." "What about the monster plants?" The blood-red tree seemed to be observing Fong Ping. After a while, it said, there are still some small demons clansmen here. Where did unquestionable Jian go? I don't know. The blood-red tree replied, Master has left for a long time. He hasn't returned yet. A long time? Fang Ping smiled. How long is a long time? Was unquestionable Jian around 60 years ago? No, Fang Ping said coldly. You're lying. Old Zhang had picked up the monster plants about 60 years ago. Unquestionable Jian was not around 60 years ago. Who did it then? Indeed, he's not around. I dare not lie to you, esteemed guest. The blood-red tree explained. Master has disappeared for almost 1,000 years. You're saying that unquestionable Jian really didn't die 1,000 years ago. After that, he arranged for all of you to leave this place? Esteemed guest, you're talking about the Emperor War? 1,000 years ago, Master did not die, but he was severely injured. He nurtured the small demons and some clansmen here. After his injuries recovered, he left this place. Then, 60 years ago, a monster plant that looked similar to you died in the Outland. What happened? The blood-red tree, seemed hesitant. Seeing this, Wang Jinyang said lightly, Since you said that I'm the person unquestionable Jian is waiting for, then these aren't secrets, right? Can't you tell me a thing or two? It's a long story, as the blood-red tree spoke. He said, Esteemed guests, let's talk as we walk. The blood demon won't be able to hold them off for long. It seems that powerhouses have entered this place. Everyone looked at each other and followed suit. At the same time, Periphery, Monster Swordsman, was surrounded by everyone. Everyone glared at him. Monster Swordsman said slowly, I was born in the Emperor's tomb. Speaking of which, it's been 1,000 years. Not long after the Emperor's tomb was formed, I was born and nurtured by Master. Master? Qi Huanyu said lightly, Speak clearly. It's the Demon Emperor. Monster Swordsman explained. Back then, Master was besieged by the emperors and almost died. He was severely injured and on the verge of death. After that, he set up the emperor's tomb and began to recuperate. During this period, he nurtured me and some monster plant powerhouses. After Master recovered, he left the emperor's tomb. At that time, he said that he would return and help us transform into humans. During this period, Master also taught us some martial arts. My sword Dao was imparted by Master. In the years when Master first left, we cultivated in peace and took root in the real Emperor's tomb, absorbing the Emperor's qi, blood, and energy. We improved extremely quickly. However, Master did not return for a long time, and the situation changed. There were many monster plants in the Emperor's tomb. Originally, everyone lived in harmony and waited for Master's return. However, as time passed, some monster plants became selfish and wanted to enter the palace left behind by Master back, then to obtain the treasures left behind by Master. I was deeply protected by Master and inherited martial arts. Although I'm a monster, I won't do something like betraying Master. 60 years ago, the Emperor Blood Tree clan was bewitched by the fallen Emperor's spiritual consciousness and betrayed Master. They wanted to enter the Demon Emperor's palace to obtain the treasures and remove the seal of the Emperor's tomb. I led the Sword Tree clan to protect the Emperor's palace and wanted to kill the traitors. However, the Emperor Blood Tree clan received the help of a fallen emperor, and their combat strength increased greatly. Zhao Xingwu frowned and said, Fallen Emperor. Just as Yao Swordsman was about to explain, Chang Shanqi said indifferently, Since the corpses of fallen emperors are still here, it means that they are not completely dead. There might still be a wisp of spiritual consciousness left. It's possible that they recovered some of their memories after so many years. As expected, Yao Swordsman said with certainty, That's right. When Master left, he sealed the corpses of the fallen emperors to provide us with energy, so that we could cultivate faster. However, after Master left for so many years, some of the Emperor's spiritual consciousnesses have recovered. They bewitched the Emperor Blood Tree clan and betrayed Master. You said that the Demon Emperor left a palace here? Yes, before Master left. In order to suppress the corpses of the emperors, he left behind many treasures, even the heaven-punishing sword. He was worried that these emperors would come back to life. Yao's swordsman said angrily. However, the Emperor Blood Tree clan colluded with the remnant spiritual consciousnesses of the emperors to break the seal and take the heaven-punishing sword. They wanted to release the seal and let these emperors revive. In the past, these emperors tried to kill Master. All the beasts in the tomb knew about this. They knew that they were Master's enemies, but they still colluded with them. The Sword Tree clan naturally would not agree and fought to the death. In the end, the entire Sword Tree clan was killed. Only I escaped and established myself at Imperial Sea Mountain. All these years, I have been thinking about returning to the tomb and killing the traitors. Hearing this, everyone's eyes changed. Chang Shanqi said, "The Demon Emperor really left the heaven-punishing sword behind." "That's right," Yao Swordsman said. "However, the heaven-punishing sword must not be used recklessly. The heaven-punishing sword suppressed the emperors. These emperors were killed, so their resentment is extremely strong. Only a portion of their spiritual consciousnesses has recovered, and they are all evil thoughts. Once they are revived, it will cause chaos." "How many corpses are there here?" Zhao Xingwu asked. Yao Swordsman thought for a moment and said, 6. In the past, more than 10 experts tried to kill Master. Some escaped, some died without a complete corpse. Only 6 corpses were left behind. Of these 6, 3 of the Emperor corpses were already incomplete and in tatters, but there are still 3 that are still intact. Yao Swordsman said, and continued, "Once these 3 great emperors revive, we will all die. Now, there is only killing intent in their hearts. This time, I entered the tomb to kill the traitors and also to join forces with you to suppress the emperor corpses. I know that the divine weapon is very attractive to you, but once the 3 emperor venerable experts who only live to kill are released, the world will be in chaos." Qi Huanyu said with a faint smile. "So, these 3 emperor corpses still have their great paths intact." Hearing this, many people were tempted. Was there really a great emperor-level expert's great source path left behind? Previously, it was just a guess, but now that Yao Swordsman said so, it was obviously true. Without the great paths, an awakened great emperor expert would only be comparable to a rank 9. At most, their physical bodies would be slightly stronger than an ordinary rank 8. The great paths of an emperor expert. What was an emperor level? Under normal circumstances, one would only reach the emperor level after walking 10,000 meters on the great paths. Of course, there might be people who walked a few great paths and reached this stage. But no matter what the situation was, this powerhouse's great path was worthy of everyone's pursuit. 10,000 meters of the great path, not to mention rank 9s like them, even true gods and great emperors would covet it. And it was not just 1, but 3. At this moment, everyone was not worried at all. Their eyes were all red and shining. At the front of the crowd, Wu Chuan, who had not left and was not in conflict with the others, asked, "If that's the case, why didn't you tell everyone earlier? Why did you only say it now that you've been discovered?" Yao Swordsman's mentality fluctuated. This is related to Master. The outside world is also very hostile toward Master. I'm worried that once my identity is exposed, I'll be hunted down by some people, even by true king powerhouses. This made sense. Demon emperors were taboo in the catacombs. If Yao Swordsman really admitted that his master was unquestionable Jian, he might really have been captured by those true kings. Unquestionable Jian isn't dead, Yao's swordsman replied. I don't know. I haven't seen any traces of Master all these years. I thought Master had already become famous in the outside world when he came out of the Emperor's tomb. But when I came out of the tomb, I found out that the outside world thought Master was already dead. All these years, there has been no news of Master. I also don't know if Master is alive or dead. When did the demon emperor leave the tomb? About 800 years ago, Ji Yao suddenly said. Rumor has it that Heavenly King Suppressing appeared about 800 years ago. It can't be? Someone was shocked. Hua Yu frowned and said, Ji Yao, Heavenly King Suppressing is the demon emperor? Is it impossible? Ji Yao said calmly, the demon emperor left at that time, and Heavenly King Suppressing appeared later. That doesn't make sense, Hua Yu frowned and said, there were a few experts who fought with Heavenly King Suppressing. Fate Monarch also fought with him. If it was really the demon emperor, Fate Monarch might not recognize him. But other true kings, such as Myriad Demon King, had already become a true king when the demon emperor invaded. If that's the case, how can he not recognize the demon emperor? Qi Huanyu thought for a moment and also said, the possibility of Heavenly King Suppressing being the demon emperor is not high, but we can't eliminate the possibility that the demon emperor has the ability to change his aura. As for Great Daos, Heavenly King Suppressing walked 2 Great Daos, and the demon emperor was rumored to have 3 Great Daos. However, the demon emperor didn't seem to use the other Great Daos, and he mainly focused on the Sword Dao. That Heavenly King Suppressing might have hidden the Sword Dao. Actually, Nether King's Sword Dao inheritance is just a mystery. He didn't walk a Great Dao similar to Heavenly King Suppressing's. For a descendant of a true king, under normal circumstances, their Great Dao would be similar to their father's. But Nether King didn't. Could it be that Heavenly King Suppressing taught him in secret? Many people frowned when they heard these characteristics. Was Heavenly King Suppressing really the demon emperor? Speaking of which, it was a bit of a coincidence. After the demon emperor left the tomb, he disappeared without a trace. At that time, Heavenly King Suppressing appeared. The demon emperor walked 3 Great Daos, but he mainly used the Sword Dao. The other 2 were used to amplify his strength. Were the 2 Great Daos that Heavenly King Suppressing had taken the Great Daos that the demon emperor had hidden? Everyone fell into deep thought. If that was really the case, then this matter was getting more and more troublesome. Heavenly King Suppressing was the undisputed leader of the human side. As for people like King Wu, they were indeed leaders, but they were only leaders of the new martial era, not the era of Xinxing. In King Suppressing, there was only one leader, Heavenly King Suppressing. That was a top powerhouse who had suppressed the catacombs for hundreds of years. Back then, the demon emperor was alone. Even if he gathered human powerhouses, their strength was limited. It was different now, with the current Heavenly King Suppressing. Even if these people didn't get along with King Suppressing, normally they wouldn't disobey the Heavenly King Suppressing's orders. Everyone's expression was heavy. This matter was difficult. In front of the crowd, Wu Chuan suddenly said, the Emperor Blood Tree clan is a rebel. They cooperated with a fallen great emperor. Then all these years, didn't those great emperors come out? Demon Swordsman explained, it's difficult. They might not be able to remove the seal set by Master, but with the passage of time, they will break the seal sooner or later. Moreover, Master said that if he doesn't return sooner or later, someone will find his things in the tomb. His things are in the Imperial Palace. Once that person arrives, Master's seal will also be broken. I think that person might be Fong Ping. So, our top priority now is to stop Fong Ping and not let him enter the imperial palace. Once he enters, he might cause the seal to break and the three venerable emperors to revive. Wu Chuan's expression changed. Damn it! Whether what demon swordsman said was true or not, it was extremely dangerous. If Fong Ping and the rest really broke the seal and let the three emperor-level powerhouses revive, then these people would be in danger. Wu Chuan did not say a word, soaring into the sky and hurrying forward. However, after flying for a distance, a large number of blood demons appeared. Demon swordsman saw the situation and quickly transmitted his voice. We're in trouble. The Emperor Blood Tree clan has found us. At the same time when both sides were fighting, the Blood Tree had just answered Fong Ping, and the rest's question, mentality fluctuating. Back then, the Sword Tree clan couldn't stand the loneliness of guarding the tomb, so they betrayed Master and escaped from the tomb. We killed all the way, but in the end, some of the demons among them still escaped. Fong Ping raised his eyebrows. In that case, it was really just a coincidence that old Zhang picked up the blood tree. Both sides were killing each other. The battle was endless. A blood tree fell. No one cared about it. And then old Zhang took advantage of it. This luck, was it real or fake? Why didn't I pick it up before? P.S. Recommend a book. Overthrowing the Han by Big Boss Grenade is Afraid of Water. Brothers who like history can go read it. Chapter 901. As the group of humans and one demon spoke, a blood-red palace appeared before their eyes. Fong Ping's brows were tightly knitted together. There was something strange about this palace. To put it more strangely, the palace was like a living creature, like a bloody mouth waiting for everyone to enter. At this moment, evil energy was flowing in all directions. The blood tree noticed that Fong Ping and the others had stopped in their tracks. The old face appeared on the tree trunk again, transmitting its voice. This is the imperial palace left behind by Master. It's also the core of this place. Emperor's tomb. Actually, it means that this palace is the Emperor's tomb. Fong Ping interrupted. Emperor's tomb? Is that what you call this place? The bloody tree replied. This place has always been called the Emperor's tomb, the tomb of venerable sovereigns. Fong Ping, on the other hand, frowned slightly. The name Emperor's tomb was actually given by Warlord. However, that was not necessarily the case. Some great emperors seem to know of this place, and many people called this place the Emperor's tomb. Perhaps that was really the name. Something is still not right. A thought suddenly popped up in Fong Ping's mind. Those grandmasters did not even know if Unquestionable Jian was really alive. If the name of the Emperor's tomb was given by the Unquestionable Sword, how did those people know about it? Or could it be that this place was originally nameless, and the outside world referred to it as the Monarch's tomb? Was that why the bloody tree also referred to it as the Monarch's tomb? Could it be that the blood tree has gone out before? Back then, when they chased after the Sword Tree clan, they seemed to have gone out. But it doesn't make sense. According to what it said, their pursuit of the Sword Tree clan ended very quickly, and they returned to the Emperor's tomb. That means that they can't communicate with the people outside. These demons were all left behind by Unquestionable Jian. They did not dare to stay in the outside world for long. So why would they tell the outside world about the Emperor's tomb? This means Fong Ping's heart skipped a beat. This meant that the tree might have lied. Perhaps it had said the name of Emperor's tomb unintentionally. It could not explain it now, so it deliberately said that it had always been called this way. Anyway, Fong Ping and the rest did not know. It might be communicating with the outside world, or perhaps someone from the outside world came in to report the news. In any case, it's impossible that he didn't go out all the time. He only went out once when he was chasing after the Sword Tree more than 60 years ago. Thoughts flashed across Fong Ping's mind. The bloody tree continued. Esteemed guests, we've arrived at the imperial palace. The item that master left behind for the esteemed guest in the past is inside the palace. Fong Ping stopped in his tracks and frowned. This place is very strange. Don't tell me you've secretly arranged an assassin to kill us. How about this? Since Unquestionable Sword gave it to us, then you go in and get it. We'll leave after we get it. It was normal to have doubts. Only an idiot would be able to completely trust a demonic tree when they first met, and even then, they wouldn't be able to cultivate to this level. The blood tree's psyche rippled and said, Esteemed guest, you've misunderstood. The Dwarch Palace is a supreme treasure of an expert from the heaven realm in the past. It wasn't built after my master. This treasure has always been like this. We can't go beyond where our master is. We usually guard around the Dwarch Palace and cultivate outside the Dwarch Palace. Only when the esteemed guest that master is waiting for arrives will he be able to open the palace and obtain the item that master has bestowed upon him. As he spoke, the old face on the tree trunk looked at Wang Jinyang. At this moment, Wang Jinyang's breathing was extremely rapid. Fong Ping glanced at him. Wang Jinyang forced himself to send a telepathic message. There's something inside. I'm losing control of my power. The thing that attracts me is indeed inside, but don't go. I seem to have sensed something inside. There are experts very strong. It seems to be locked inside. His psychic energy transmission was always halting. Fong Ping saw that his power was indeed starting to go out of control. He was almost unable to control his flight. He frowned. What was inside? If the opponent held the thing inside during battle, would it not make Old Wang completely lose control and be killed instantly? He had to get this thing, no matter what. If he got it, it might be of great use to Old Wang. If he couldn't get it, he would destroy it. If this thing was not destroyed, Old Wang would be waiting for death the next time he encountered it. Powerhouse. Fong Ping thought about it, looked at the blood tree, and said, You said earlier that this place is the real emperor's tomb? If that's the case, there are emperor-level powerhouses' corpses in the Dwarch Palace? The blood tree said affirmatively. The Dwarch Palace is the emperor's tomb and also the source of the emperor's tomb's power. The power that maintains the emperor's tomb's barrier land. The power formed by the blood demon, the energy that we cultivate, all come from the Dwarch Palace. The Dwarch Palace and the emperor's tomb are one. These energies also come from the Emperor Venerable corpses. They draw energy from them to maintain the entire Emperor's tomb's operation. The blood tree continued. However, after all these years, the power of the Emperor Venerable corpses is almost completely drained. When the Sword Tree clan rebelled back then, they even wanted to collude with the Chaos Emperor's corpses to cause chaos. However, they didn't know that the Emperor's corpses had already been greatly exhausted. There was not even 1% of their power left, and they couldn't break the Master's seal at all. The Chaos Emperor's corpses, they're similar to the Blood Demon. The Blood Tree explained. These Emperor's corpses seem to have developed a weak will, but their thoughts are chaotic. After a while, when the Emperor's tomb finishes draining these Emperor's corpses of their power, they will collapse completely. Fong Ping nodded slightly, then asked, Are there many treasures in the Dwarch Palace? If we go in, won't we be able to take anything we want? The blood tree seemed to be smiling. Although plants had no emotions at this moment, it still felt like it was smiling. Only the honored guests can take away what the master left for them. Otherwise, if the honored guests want to take it away by force, it will only cause some trouble. Fong Ping did not say anything. He touched his chin and looked at the blood-red palace in front of him. Even the pot. Could this palace be taken away as well? Fong Ping did not care about being a source of trouble at all. However, this palace was probably not small. Fong Ping looked at it roughly. Its height was not less than 20 meters, and its length and width were 2 to 300 meters. Its entire volume was probably 1,000,000 cubic meters. His storage space couldn't hold such a big thing. Fong Ping suddenly had doubts again. He asked, when the demon emperor was besieged, how did he bring the Arch Palace here? Unquestionable Sword said that such a big Arch Palace was brought from the heavenly realm. Where did he usually put it? This question made the blood tree stutter a little. Why was this person's focus always so special? Would normal people pay attention to this? The palace left behind by an emperor-level powerhouse had countless treasures. Would anyone care about how the palace came about? Although the blood tree stuttered for a while, it still replied, "This item is the heavenly realm's treasure. It can't be taken away by normal means. However, this treasure can be stored in the Sanjiao Gate. In the past, the master stored this item in the Sanjiao Gate for safekeeping." Fong Ping looked interested. "How do I take it?" At this moment, the blood tree suddenly felt that something was wrong. After thinking for a while, it reminded, this treasure is connected to the Emperor's tomb and Purple Cap Mountain. The master sealed and connected this treasure to Purple Cap Mountain. It can't be taken away. Can't be taken away? Fong Ping's face was full of disbelief. If the item could be placed here, then it could be taken away. Of course, he believed that it was connected. Back then, in the Xuanda Grotto heaven, those buildings were also connected to the entire seal. He had no way of taking it away. However, back then was back then. His strength was not enough. Now, his strength was not weak. If he forcefully demolished it, he might not be killed by the counterattack of the seal. Fong Ping put this matter aside and asked, "How many monster plants do you have on your side? How's your strength?" "Honorable guest, what do you mean?" Fong Ping said calmly. "It's a little chaotic here. The chi dynamic isn't obvious. I have to ask clearly. If you guys are very strong once we enter the Arch Palace, and you guys surround us from the outside, isn't that courting death? I'll first judge your strength. If I feel that you guys can't kill us by surrounding us, then we'll consider going in." As he said that, Fong Ping laughed. "Don't lie to me. I don't have any other strong points, but my sense of crisis is not weak. If you make it clear, let's talk openly. Both of us can relax a little. I don't like those twists and turns. What do you think, Brother Tree?" The blood tree was silent for a moment. Its mentality replied, "In the Emperor Blood Tree clan, other than the small monsters, there are 18 others. How's their strength?" Fong Ping asked. The blood tree thought for a moment again. "In the origin realm, including the small monsters, there are a total of 9. The rest are at the golden body realm. 19 monster plants. The same clan." This kind of situation was actually very rare. 19 monsters, 9 at the origin realm. This ratio was even more frightening. In that case, including those who were killed back then, there were originally 20 of them here, or could it be that there were more, and more had actually died back then? Fong Ping roughly judged this blood tree. He could not sense it too clearly, but its strength was probably around the origin realm of stage 6 or 7. It was not considered weak. Was it the strongest or just average? Fong Ping asked again, "Brother Tree, do you have a name? Are you the leader of the Emperor Blood Tree clan?" "The small monster's name is Du. I'm not the clan leader of the Emperor Blood Tree clan. Back then, because of the Sword Tree clan's rebellion, the clan leader hunted down the Sword Tree clan leader. He returned injured. Until now, he hasn't recovered and has been cultivating in seclusion." Fong Ping looked around. There seemed to be a forest behind the Arch Palace. Fong Ping pointed there and said, "Is that where you guys usually cultivate?" That's right. Back then, Master opened up a dojo here for us to cultivate. We weren't monsters in the beginning. Trees that did not become spirits were naturally not monsters. The Emperor Blood Tree clan was not a real monster in the beginning. They were just ordinary trees. However, they were influenced by the Emperor's corpse and absorbed a lot of Emperor's blood. After that, trees gradually developed intelligence and began to cultivate. That was how the Emperor Blood Tree clan came into being. Fong Ping was like a curious baby. He pointed at the fruit hanging on its trunk again and asked with a smile, "What fruit is this?" The blood tree seemed to be unable to stand his gaze. Its trunk shifted slightly. After a while, it said, "We call it the Emperor Blood Fruit. What's the use? Can you give us one to try?" It was very impolite to ask to eat a monster plant's fruit in front of its face. Some monster plants would immediately turn hostile if you mentioned this. The blood tree seemed to be in a dilemma. After a while, it said, "The Emperor Blood Fruit is formed by us absorbing the Emperor's corpse's energy. It's also where our Tao fruit is. I'm afraid I can't give it to you, but there are countless treasures in the large palace." Fong Ping laughed. "Don't mind it too much. I'm just saying." "Oh, right. The life essence stored by the Emperor Blood Tree clan seems to be different from ordinary monster plants. It contains some Emperor-level powerhouses might. Is there any special use?" The blood tree did not reply at all this time. Some things involved the secrets of their own cultivation. Fong Ping, however, said to himself, absorbing the Emperor-level powerhouses' strength to grow won't absorb their life force origin, right? Under the subtle influence, will these Emperor-level powerhouses' origins be possessed? Possession, by right, does not exist. However, when a person's life force origin is changed, then it's different. If the flesh and origin are compatible, then there's no problem of rejection. Not to mention, this seems to be a solution. Did those fallen Emperor-level powerhouses have this idea? Brother Tree, has anyone in your Emperor Blood Tree clan been possessed? The blood tree could not remain silent this time. It replied, "You worry too much, esteemed guest. This is impossible. These venerable emperors' origins have already collapsed when they died. If they did not collapse, they wouldn't have died. Right now, only some will remains. If the life force origin is still there, then they wouldn't have perished." Seems like it. The blood tree seemed to be getting impatient. Its tone was slightly irritated as it transmitted its voice. "Esteemed guests, the blood demon won't be able to hold on for long. Esteemed guest, you can go and take the things left behind by Master." In this way, the mission that Master left for the Emperor Blood Tree clan back then has been completed, and we can account to Master. After this, I'm afraid Emperor's Tomb can't continue to exist. We might also leave Emperor's Tomb. Master's mission has not been completed, and the Emperor Blood Tree clan won't dare to disobey Master's order and leave this place rashly. Please understand, esteemed guest. Fong Ping ignored it, looking at the red palace in front. The palace was very quiet. There were no signs of life. Looking down from the sky, he could even see some of the situation in the palace. Although it was called a palace, it gave Fong Ping the feeling that it was like a place where a family lived. He seemed to see a farmland, a vegetable field. The palace had a main entrance. The door was closed. Unquestionable Jian had brought this back from the heavenly realm. It was unknown whose residence it had belonged to in the past. However, a treasure that could be stored in the Sanjiao Gate. One must know that not just anyone could enter the Sanjiao Gate. The things stored in the Sanjiao Gate were all half real and half illusory. For example, divine weapons and mentality materialized objects. This palace had at least the quality of a divine weapon, and this referred to the entirety. Such a gigantic divine weapon was of a much higher grade than that fellow Li's divine weapon palace. Fang Ping glanced at Wang Jinyang from the corner of his eye. Old Wang's face was extremely pale at this moment, clutching his chest and panting. Li Hansong was supporting him to prevent him from falling from the sky. Go in. Of course, he had to go in. Since Fang Ping was here, he would not be careless. However, Fang Ping was not at ease with this so-called Emperor Bloodtree clan, a group of demons that grew up drinking blood. Were they really that easy to talk to? Unquestionable Jian had left for so many years, leaving behind treasures. Were these demons really not tempted? Why did they not take it? If they were afraid. Forget it, if they were afraid for a few hundred years. How many years had it been? Were they really afraid? Or was it that unquestionable Jian had actually returned midway, and they dared not make any strange moves? Or perhaps they could not enter the palace? However, 19 powerhouses, 9 rank 9s going all out and attacking the palace day and night. Were they really unable to open it? If that was the case, this palace would be an absolute treasure. 19 powerhouses could not break through. If they got their hands on this thing, other things aside, if they could carry it around, it would be the sturdiest fortress. Fang Ping thought of many things. He transmitted his voice to Old Man Li and the rest. Everyone, should we go in now or what? We have no idea what's going on inside. The key is that there are still 19 powerhouses outside. Not just the Emperor Bloodtree, but also those people behind. If we go in and get trapped inside, then we'll just be waiting for death. The probability of being surrounded and killed is very high. Old Man, Li transmitted his voice. We'll listen to you. This Emperor Bloodtree clan cannot be trusted easily, but since the thing is here, we won't give it up either. Listening to what he said, there are many good things inside. There might be treasures that can heal Grandmaster Kong, and the rest, right? Does this Emperor Bloodtree clan fruit have such an effect? You've seen a lot. How do you feel about the effect of this fruit? It's all right. I'm afraid it's comparable to treasures like the maple fruit. However, it's mainly used to increase vitality and increase the strength of the physique. It shouldn't be a fruit related to mentality. Fang Ping had indeed seen a lot now. He could make a rough judgment and could see something. The effect of the Emperor Bloodtree's fruit should be much stronger than the golden body fruit. After all, it absorbed the energy of an Emperor-level powerhouse's corpse. If a rank 7 powerhouse ate one of these, they might be able to complete the skull forging and enter rank 8 directly. If a rank 8 ate it, it would also help the other party to forge a golden body rapidly. However, the help to Fang Ping might not be as big as he imagined. Using the analogy of a fruit related to mentality, this thing was comparable to the maple fruit. It should be helpful for Golden Body 5 or 6 transformations. However, at Golden Body 8 transformations, the help would probably be limited. Its value was about 2 to 300 billion each. The key was that there were many of these things. This Emperor Yu alone bore 8 fruits. Fang Ping had just counted. If all the other rank 9 Emperor Bloodtrees bore fruits, 9 would mean 72 fruits. Although they might not all bear the same number of fruits, there would still be dozens of fruits. Did those rank 8 Emperor Bloodtrees bear fruits? If this thing was brought back to the human world, Sino Nation would soon have another batch of rank 8 powerhouses. If the Emperor Bloodtree wanted to kill them, Fang Ping and the rest would have done it long ago. However, right now, the other party's attitude was like giving them treasures. Fang Ping was really embarrassed to do it. I'm so kind, but are these demons really so kind? After asking so many questions, although Diyu answered most of them, he avoided the important points and dwelled on trivial ones. The answers did not satisfy Fong Ping. Let's go in. Fong Ping made up his mind. He could not drag it on anymore. It would be more troublesome if the people behind came. Moreover, old Wang was about to pass out now. The impact of that thing inside was too great. 19 powerhouses. It might not be true. Fong Ping's expression turned serious. He transmitted his voice. Be careful. I'll ask you to go in with us. If anything goes wrong, we'll kill it first. Everyone had no objections. Since Fong Ping had decided to go in, then let him. Moreover, the purpose of this trip was precisely for this. Fong Ping said no more. He looked at the blood tree and smiled. Brother D, why don't we go in together? You're the master of this place, after all. You're more familiar with this place than we are. You've entered the Imperial Palace before, right? When Master was still around, he'd entered a few times. The blood tree did not deny it. He continued, if the esteemed guest invites me, I won't refuse. Fong Ping nodded. Just as he was about to land, Wang Jinyong suddenly panted. Let me ask, how did you know that I'm the person you're waiting for? The blood tree was silent for a moment before saying, Your aura? I've seen the esteemed guest's aura before. It's in the Imperial Palace. That's why I recognized the esteemed guest as soon as he arrived. Also, when the esteemed guest arrived, the Imperial Palace trembled slightly. Under such circumstances, the Emperor Blood Tree clan knew that the person Master was waiting for had arrived. You've seen my aura before. Wang Jinyang's face was pale. What is it? I don't know. The Blood Tree's voice was sincere. When Master was still around, I once sensed something outside Master's residence. However, I couldn't enter Master's resting place. The Emperor Blood Tree clan was only planted by Master to decorate the Imperial Palace. That's why we could only wait outside the palace. Unless Master summoned us, we couldn't enter Master's resting place. Wang Jinyong asked no more. The group landed. As soon as they landed and approached the palace gave them an even more sinister feeling. There were words on the main door. Fong Ping did not recognize it. No one knew it. This should be words from ancient times. The blood tree, however, knew it. It explained, this palace isn't Master's original item. It's from the heavenly realm. It's called Combat Heavenly Palace. Master once said that this item has an owner. There's no need to change its name. Combat Heavenly Palace. Fong Ping raised an eyebrow. What a boast. During the God-Demon era, the heavenly realm still existed. Combat Heavenly Palace. The two words, Combat Heavenly Palace, were considered treason, right? What was Heavenly Palace? In the eyes of God-Demon powerhouses, it was Tao. It was the heavenly realm. It was the origin of Tao. Someone wanted to combat Heavenly Palace. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.